I just saw that it's November 4th. It's like stream live set for November 4th.
Wait, oh wait.
That's today.
It is today.
Them's the days.
You doing it?
And we're live.
It's the thing.
Stand, keep on pants, and watch your language. We're live. Hopefully both of those two things.
You don't guarantee.
Actually, got this notification.
You did?
Uh-huh. I have not.
Okay, so here goes my part. This is all the help that I am for reading comments. Is this 2 minutes in the beginning? And it is Micro Halloween, Blackcraft 27, Joshua Kane, John Lowell, Line Cook Thor 2006, Jamie Thaxton, Scott Reynolds, Michael J. Lassiter, Finn Godwolf, Happen in Mojo, Skin and Bones, Greg Watkins. Hello, Greg Watkins. That's not a name that I see all the time, so hello, Greg Watkins. Hoyt's Haunt, hello again. Ken Zarish. Herman Munster 65, hello. Patricia Sheffield, Big Dog Masks. You were not first. You believed you were first, but you were up there. John C., The Weird Kid Show. Robert White, Jeremiah Dempsey. Lil Ziety? Lil Exity? Lil Exity. You have a very interesting rap name.
Little sheepy?
Does that make a sheep?
X-I is sheep, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not going to say that one. Kim Sheedy. Kim Beatty, Brad Kennedy. Chad Smith, Dirty Santa, hello. Michelle Schulte, Richard Gladden, Ron Sheps.
Sheps.
See, I can't right now.
I love that guy.
Oh, there he is. JLR 538LM, Harry Fullbaum III, hello, sir. Al Mantra Art, Sean Davies, Darren Reed,
Al Mantra.
John Lowell. Well, thank you, Lil Anxiety.
Little Exity.
I don't know what to call you. You made it hard. It used to be like my biggest problem was, do they say Shane or Sean? Like,
Yeah.
what do they do, you know? But now it's like, well, you have a great rap name, my friend. Jeff Leach, Todd Doty, Warmonger, Kirk Mattia, Cameron Simison. It's not Simpson, it's Simison. And they said pizza, which now I'm excited. Why'd you do that? Why did you say pizza? I don't understand you. Shane Card. Okay. I feel like Nate Slanker, Celeste Kitty, Salty Scrunt is back with us.
Salty Sprite.
Cassandra Nylander, hello again, and John Sheffield. Digital Nucleus, one more time, hello. Jack269. Okay, I'll tell you what, guys. I can no longer keep up. But Ike Camacho, there we go. You were the first one to say first, so I guess that counts for something, big dog. Also, I'm molding the Screamin' Orc / Krampus tonight. That is part of Mold-a-thon. I did swap out the teeth because there were some bubbles in them, and I just wanted to go with a more versatile tooth pattern. So I changed out the teeth and the sculpt. This was actually sculpted by Big Dog Masks, and I hollowed out the back more, which, yes, this was a treat. It was as fun as you think it was, Big Dog.
Skin and Bones,
This guy
$5
first
in
in the
super chat. Skin and Bones, $5 in super chat.
Thank you, Skin and Bones.
All right.
Okay, so right now, I believe that my wife is reading comments. Say hi, wife.
No.
She is reading comments, and I'm prepping to mold. Stan is doing the last bit of pouring. You can see Stan over. Stan, stop right there. Right now, you are the angel on my shoulder telling me good things to do. You know, maybe that shouldn't be your job. I'm just saying. Yeah.
They're way more qualified people.
And then Stacy is also here. She is trimming masks, and at some point, wife and Stacy will swap out.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Stacy will become the reader.
She will be the leader.
I will remain the not wife.
So Stan,
Yes, sir.
we need a caulking gun with silicone caulking. Stacy, I need to kick you off of that table because we're going to use this table for Mold-a-thon.
Sounds like a plan.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm here.
I love the dollar store robots that candy night.
Oh, I'm glad you like that. That was fun. And you know what? I did a Facebook Live on that, I think 3 or 4 years ago. I've made a bunch of those. And I just turned it into a YouTube Wednesday video.
Celeste Kitty says she's still sick, but oddly, amazingly good mood tonight. Hope everyone's well.
That is awesome. I want to lay down a ground rule. And every now and then, if one of my moderators would type it, just a reminder, I don't want to talk about politics or what's going on tonight or anything results. I don't want to hear any of that. So I don't want any of it. So about every 15, 20 minutes, just please post a reminder, someone who does the typey, and say, hey, just remember, no political talk tonight. We need a place where we can go where it's monsters and rocks. And that is, tonight that's here, because we're going to make rocks around monsters so that we can mold them.
Mark Jim says, hi, hold this. I've got an old mask from 4 years ago being left outside while I took my haunt down. Now I fix it.
Yeah. That's like taking in a homeless stray. So these masks are set up as what we call bucks, all right? I have my goblin that that's just sculpted recently. I'll mold it tonight too. Everything I'm doing right now is Christmas themed. I kind of tricked Big Dog into sculpting that mask for me by telling him it was a screaming orc. But really what I wanted was a Krampus mask. So, but anyway, yeah, so that's set up. This guy is going to get set up. I need to remold him because I already have like 4 orders or 5 orders for 6 packs of elves for Christmas haunts. I think that with the weirdness of Halloween, I think a lot of haunts are doing Christmas with a vengeance, and I think that's awesome. So I have 1 clay sculpture to mold and 2 foam bucks to mold. This one has been molded 5 or 6 times, and just the molds now, they're a little pockmarked, they're a little tired, so there we go. Stan, would you find my spinny things? I think they're in there.
Did the Nosferatu mold come clean?
Yes, that was another elf mold, and it has come clean and it's been poured up. Yes, it did. It already has latex in it. But we don't wait for the body. Perfect. You're going to prep this one. I'm going to prep this one. Grab that spinning thing.
Mason Sherman says, how do I get rid of a terrible hangover? Everything hurts. I suggested Pedialyte, Tylenol, and tacos from
Jack in the Box tacos.
Yeah.
Yes, I know that is your cure-all.
Not that I know
For hangovers.
firsthand, just that I
Yeah.
was told.
A friend told me.
A friend told me. Yeah,
Okay.
a friend told me that.
My go-to for the really, really bad ones is Pedialyte and sushi rice.
Okay.
Just
Sticky rice.
salted sticky rice.
Okay.
And it's bland. It is carbolific.
Cabinet Mojo says, I always wondered why do they call them bucks instead of simply posits?
Because maybe the people who did it were just negative people. I don't know.
Stan and Stacy, you have many folks saying hello.
Stan, where did this come from? Because I feel as if this has been subjected to cold weather.
Oh no. dead.
Blackcraft 27, this kind of reminds me of an orc from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, see, when I say orc, I think Lord of the Rings orc. When some people say orc, they think World of Warcraft orc. See, that is very firm.
Oh.
So we're going to toss that.
Justin Hill, when is Dark Hour looking to open again?
What's that?
When is Dark Hour looking to open again?
Well, it would be awesome if we could open for the Wreck the Hall show in December. That would be awesome if we could do that. That is our hope.
Olivasa says, haunts that do Christmas, cut it out.
Yeah, lots of haunts do Christmas.
Katie
You know, it's not so much Christmas as it is holiday. It's a holiday season, and a lot of times you have family over, and
Scared the crap out of them.
well, yeah, you have family over. You need something else to do because you're sick of each other. You're sick of being in the house. Yeah.
Katie Elliott, hello my lovelies, it's 1:30 a.m. here in Durham, UK, and I can't sleep, so I've come to keep company.
Hooray!
Hello, Rodney Pope,
This will come from the same place.
Monster
I
Cannon
think from
6.
inside them. Inside them.
Push that in
We're not
there.
doing this.
This is the rock. No, I'm not going to mess with it. So we have caulking that has been exposed to the elements. It was outside. It got too cold. I didn't think that it got. We didn't get to freezing, but it got cold enough where it killed some tubes of caulk. Do the stabby test. If it's too hard, then we'll try something else. Do you have a question, honey?
Whenever you're ready.
I'm ready.
Sandra Nylander, random question. At one point, I think you mentioned a video for a panel jig, but I couldn't find it. What size do you make your wall panels?
4 foot by 8 foot. And we make them that size because that's the size that sheet lumber comes, so that's the easiest size to make them. You certainly could make them larger or smaller, but that would require a lot more effort.
Dan Godwolf says hello, and hi, Robert White. Timba Minnick says, on silicone or latex mask, what is the best thing to attach it to your face with so it blends in?
Okay, so a mask doesn't attach to your face. A mask is just worn on your face. If you're talking about a prosthetic, because a mask isn't made with edges to blend in. Blending in is an element of the design, not an element of how you attach it. So a prosthetic, like a foam latex prosthetic with good thin edges, you attach with Prozaid, and then you could clean up any edges with something called Cavapatch, which is Prozaid mixed with Cavasil or some kind of other filler. So yeah, two different animals there you were kind of talking about.
Let's see, Mike Chesnowski says hello. Celeste Kitty said,
Oh,
I guess
Mike.
I'm sick forever because we don't have a Jack in the Box in Florida.
Yep, you'll probably die. You have Checkers, which is very much like Jack in the Box. Does Checkers have tacos?
Paul Bennett says, you just stabbed that caulk. You gotta give that caulk ice cream just like the day you got your foot. They're gonna give that to you, you know. Yeah, they're gonna remember. Greg Watkins, can you please briefly explain the process between the clay sculpt of the goblet to what you have on the table?
Yes. Okay. So these guys have already been molded once. All right. So these were clay sculptures, and they were molded. Okay. A mold was made of them, and then see what I did here. You'll want to do that also. You'll want to do that with my tube you're talking about. So these were molded once, and when they were molded, they were filled with latex, and then we put foam inside of them, a flexible foam, so that we are able to pull them out of a mold. But they still will hold the weight of the plaster and not fall apart. So the big thing that we have to do is seal it down, and then we will eventually also we'll mold the clay goblin sculpt tonight too after this round, and that is a similar process, but instead of this, it's clay. So these were clay, they were molded once, and then we're molding them again to make more copies.
Skin Bone says, excellent YouTube Wednesday video, Alan. I love the Dollar Tree bill.
Oh, awesome, awesome. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Happening Mojo wants to know, is orcs or urukai?
Well, these would be orcs. Well, technically, these are going to be. The one I'm molding now is going to be another Krampus mask.
Do you want me to cut new out of this?
Yeah.
Do you want me to use the leftover that's a little short? We have a bunch of that cut.
It's elves. Cut the use the pre-cut.
Okay.
Because elves are on smaller heads.
Okay.
Rob O'Brien says, is he not wearing any shoes? More busted Stan. Now
Stan.
I would feel bad if I were trying to hide.
Stan has some kind of tradition where every day on this day in our country, he wears no shoes for the whole day. I don't know why, but apparently it's a family tradition that he got from his father. So we don't harass him about it, we just let it happen.
we do know that.
It's a little harassment.
Lisa Aaron wants to know, is this Elf Night?
Well, it's already Christmas night, I'll tell you that. Because I have Christmas orders that have come in, and I want to get another Krampus mask rolling, and this is a great candidate for that. And then we're going to mold this elf, and then the new goblin sculpt that I just did. That'll be the second mold that we made. And these molds are actually going to go really fast. I hope.
Okay. Mason Sherman says, after sculpting, the mask is sprayed with sealant. A bridge is made with keys for the mold, and then thinner layers of plaster and bandages to thicker. After drying overnight, mask the mold with latex, then take the mask latex form.
Well, that's how they do it. You'll see how I do it here in just a few minutes. My way is a little less complicated.
Rodney Pope says that he got one of Amy's blanks from Monster Camp 6.
Nice.
Sweet.
You just get one in the middle of the ear and then one up behind.
Doesn't really matter. Here, inch down, inch up.
Perfect.
As long as it's that, you know,
And does it have to be a certain distance in from the back of the?
at least half an inch.
Sarah says, greetings from Germany.
Hello.
Mark Yenview says that they have been playing Hallmark Christmas movies since the beginning of October.
That's what they do. Those jerks. They're
Katie
infringing.
Elliott, in the UK, we had Christmas movies during the first lockdown in July.
Wow, that's awesome.
Christmas in July.
It's like, here, make them happy. Feed them Christmas.
Yeah, that's good. Remember, people started putting up Christmas lights.
Yeah, and
It's
I don't
spring.
have any issue with that.
I don't either.
I want to be able to do the things that make me happy, and I want them to be able to do the things that make them happy. As long as it's not like stabbing their neighbor or something, I'm cool with it.
Rodney Pope says, I'm wanting to see this process.
Well, here you go.
Josh Newman says, I'm going to try to make on Dollar Tree Bear next year for Halloween.
Awesome.
Or
Awesome.
Scott Pointer.
You might try making it like in January, so there's no stress. You wait till like Halloween Day, and you're under a lot of stress.
Macho Sancho, what a great name. Alan, what's your opinion on claymation horror like Caroline?
I don't mind it. I think anything that exposes people to monsters and makes them love Halloween and see the touching, thoughtful, fun, awesome side of darkness and monsters, I think it's great. I really love. I think it's called. It was one of the Rudolph specials, and I know that it's not exactly claymation. It's a stop motion procedure, but it was A Year Without a Santa Claus, or The Year That Christmas Never Came. It was one of those where there's trolls, and Rudolph is fighting these ice trolls. There's a king of the trolls. I love that. I love those monsters. They're so cool looking.
See, Cat Swift says, I love to watch the creative process of making a robot, whether it's a $200 mask or a $13 robot. Creativity is infectious.
Hooray!
Captain Mojo, question.
Yes.
What would you use as a water repellent / hydroponic substance on the exterior of a latex mask after painting it, or as an additive to the paint mix?
I would not put an additive in the paint mix. I would put it on after, and I would use Armor All. The same stuff that protects a car's dashboard will also help protect your mask.
Kimberly 99, I was trying to follow. Why did you seal them down?
Because I don't want liquid plaster to seep underneath of them. The clay is pretty good about sealing itself when you plop it down in the area, but the foam kind of kicks up a little bit, and I don't want liquid plaster to go underneath, and then I've got to break away a shell to pull the buck out.
And Thomas says hello.
Hello.
Jack 269, what is your favorite theme of music?
Probably hair metal. I'm a Bon Jovi fan, Poison, Warrant, Trickster. Yes, I like those. Now that doesn't mean I listen to them all the time. I don't listen to a lot of music. I don't just listen to music like, I don't just hang out and listen to music. But, yeah, you know what I meant.
Well, then, is there any kind of wash solution for carving the mask from being untouched so long and mask becomes hard? How do I soften it up? You probably talk about the mask that you found.
Yes. Once again, Paul, I would try Armor All because that's supposed to kind of revitalize, and use something that you would use on leather, because leather is an organic compound, latex is an organic compound. So use something like a it's like Lexitol. There's a leather restorer that you can use. That's good for helping soften up latex again. Right now, I can't think of the name, and I don't have any right here in front of me. It's in a brown bottle.
Is it mink oil?
It's not mink oil.
Katie Elliott says, as long as you're not stabbing your neighbor, says the man who brutally gouged out poor baby Yoda's eyes.
Hey, that baby Yoda had it coming.
That was for science.
Yeah.
Okay, talking about your favorite Christmas movies, you're asking Freeze Miser and Heat Miser and the really old ones like Old Rudolph's.
The Rankin Bass.
Yeah, Lincoln Bass.
Yes, I love those.
Do you make Christmas masks like elves or such? Asks Chunkus City.
That's literally what I'm doing right now. Yes, this is going to be a Krampus mask. Stan is working on a mask that I use for elves. I probably have more different Christmas designs than any other mask maker that I know of. That's not bragging. I've just been doing it longer, I think. No, not right now. So, yes, I do. And I love it. I make Yetis, I make Krampus, I make Wendigo. I just like making winter monsters.
Was the softener Lexol?
Lexol, yes, Lexol.
Ellis Fire.
Thanks, Ellis Fire. Which is so close to St. Elmo's Fire.
Jeremiah Dempsey. How much hydrocal will it take to mold a half mask? Percentage of a 50-pound bag. Percentage of a 50-pound bag.
Okay, so when I have Monster Camp and I have lots of people who are going to be molding half masks, I budget 50 pounds a person because that's possible. It depends on how big the mask is. It depends on how wild and crazy they go with thickness. And you'd rather it be too thick rather than too thin. I'd rather have a mold be too heavy to carry around easily, so I only pour it up when I need to, or over having a mold that doesn't work and falls apart because I didn't make it thick enough. Hey, Stan?
Yes, sir.
No, it's cool. Mixing plaster is cool.
It's so cool.
That's cool.
Go ahead and do a 24-ounce batch.
Okay.
Gregory Haynes says, hello, it's interesting to watch you guys in the process of making new molds from existing masks.
I realized that when I was editing YouTube Wednesday, I'm like, you know what, this is like the first time because it was
Stan?
the shop was kind of cooking in the background, you know. Shannon was in here sculpting, Rue was in here working on pouring up and trimming masks and things, and when I went outside to spray paint, you saw Rob in the back working on head forms. So this was kind of one of the first YouTube Wednesdays in a long time where you actually saw the activity of the shop itself in the background. A lot of the time, YouTube Wednesday seems like it's YouTube Wednesday for YouTube Wednesday's sake. but I do this in a shop that actually functions and does stuff.
Jack269 says one of my favorite bands is Kiss.
Yeah, me too. Really love Kiss. Cold gin time again.
Someone likes rap.
Rap, round and round, comes around, goes around.
Mike Murphy says hello, makers of monsters. Rodney Pope says a full mask done similar to original clay molding. Is a full mask done similar to the original clay molding process?
No, if you're able to, what you want to do is you want to cheat the system, and you want to do it in a one-piece mold. If you can squash the foam enough to get that bad boy out of there in one piece, you want to do it in a one-piece mold. Now that just won't work if you have a lot of sketchy teeth and stuff. So.
What is that spray? Are you sealing the clay up before the plaster?
There's no clay involved in this right now. This is a latex buck. It's latex and foam filled. Let me grab another one to show you.
And asking what it was that you sprayed.
So this is a latex buck, just like it's got foam inside of it, and it's kind of squishy. It'll hold up to the mold process, but I can get this out of the mold. What I spray it on, in this case it's Pam. Well, it could be Pam. This happens to be Pledge. I was looking for Pam, I couldn't find any, so I used Pledge.
Greg Watkins, if you follow or Noah, what is your thought on the Batman's last character Luke DC has been doing?
I am unfamiliar with it. Stacy, on camera right now.
Hi.
I thought they wanted to see the scrapping process for about 45 seconds.
Babadaza, I'm wondering, does anyone else have string erections? Babadaza, I hope that's string.
Ask Scott Coldhart, he can tell us.
Yep.
Black Craft says, not ready for Christmas? Why can't we Halloween all year long? Having no dose. String is fine.
Marking the spots where the straps are gonna go. Now I'm gonna stick an awl through it. Cause stabby. Stab in the stab.
So,
Dog door.
helping.
Can you remind them why you use Pledge?
Pledge is going to help it be a release so that the plaster will not stick as much to the latex in this case. Which actually, yes, it does make it harder to apply.
Hi, Greg.
Mark Damascus says, hey Alan, I love your work. The Robot Bear Monster was great. Building with so many different kinds of plastics, which spray paint is best.
Well, if you're worried about bond, then I would hit it with spray adhesive first. But if you're just going for a spray paint and you're hoping that's going to cover it and do the trick, then I would use one of the Krylons that is made for plastic.
Hey Alan, I love your work. I'm sorry, have you read that?
Another big trick is to, if you're worried about it, then use the purple PVC primer and just put that over everything and then paint it with spray paint.
Mr. Mitch says, good evening, it's good to be here.
Good evening, Mr. Mitch. It's good to have you.
Chonko Cities would like to know, do you like Pink Floyd?
Let me just say I don't mind Pink Floyd. There are times when I like Pink Floyd, but too much Pink Floyd makes me sad. Which I think is his whole point of doing things. Not to make me sad in particular, but just like he makes people sad. I didn't say it to be mean, I'm just saying.
Scott Colhart says, FYI, political talk on here, please. I think Scott meant no political talk.
Yeah,
on
he
here,
means
please.
he means no political talk is what he means. We don't want that on the channel.
We're not doing
Oh,
that.
And that's just a moderator who is helping us out with a reminder every now and then.
Shane Cards, this is the best
Starting
unscripted.
now.
Oh my God. Shane Card says, this is the best unscripted reality TV ever. I think the wife needs to flip a table.
That could happen. That could happen.
Thanks, so yeah.
Yeah. And I'm still young. I'm still young.
Mason Sherman says, I remember my first mask, I used a standard black spray paint on the skull before applying coconut oil to the bridge and keys. The latex came out fine, all small details remain.
Okay, great.
Ron Sheps would like to know, when is the Skeletor in the streets, Beastman the Sheets shirt going to be on store?
Okay, so I'm having an issue with Teespring where I can't add it to the store. I have the link for it, and I can send anybody the link for it, but I cannot. You know what? Give me a second, and I bet I can pull it up and throw it on the chat real quick. Because that is a shirt that I want more people in the world to have.
How much of the mask's detail is lost from recasting?
If you do it right, very little. What you get is you get shrinkage. It doesn't actually get, you don't lose any detail, but the whole mask shrinks just a little bit.
Philip Margrave, do y'all make these all year round?
Yes. Yes, we do. There is not a month in which I don't make masks.
Anthony Ventana says, you're thinking of the life and adventures of Santa Claus.
Maybe. You're probably right.
Mike asks, I missed it, is that Loctite foam?
No, but that's a great guess. That's like the first edition of Trivial Pursuit. If you guessed Wayne Gretzky, you had like a 30% chance of being correct
Alexa, stop.
for any sports question.
Stacy, I got that shirt, it's my favorite, says Paula.
It's my favorite too.
I also have that shirt, but I have mine is, I think I have a blue one and I have a like a orange or yellow one.
And I remember that you got the blue one, and I forget that I got the black one, so I don't want to wear it. I'm digging through my laundry looking for the blue one.
I see.
And
That
that's your
one
shirt,
are
not my
mine.
shirt. Tony's like, I swear, I haven't seen it.
Totally in box says hello. Ken Zarish would like to know,
Okay.
do you like the scorpions?
I don't mind the scorpions. I'm not going to say that listening to too much scorpions makes me sad. And you'll have to put that up higher, like bring a stool over and put it on top of the stool stand.
Okay.
Because the dogs will drink it because
That's how they do
they
it.
hate their pollen.
Alan, I have a latex allergy. Do you think I could sculpt a basic shape in clay, make a thin paper mache coat on it, and then sculpt fine features in paper clay?
Absolutely you can. Sure, of course. Masks were made with paper mache long before they were ever made with latex.
Chad Smith, he says, where are you stockpiling all those YouTube Wednesday projects?
I give them to the wife and then she puts them in the other room and I don't know what happens to them after that. She has some kind of a master plan.
Matt Swift says, sometimes use a wet sand base and saran wrap over the sand and then paper mache over that.
Okay.
Hello from the Haunt Dermotts.
Hello, Haunt Dermotts.
Miss Cosplay Studio says hello.
Hello.
Do the shirts run true to size?
They do pretty much. They do. I'm a 2X fit and a 3X roomy fit myself, and that is true. I normally get the comfort tee version of things. I get the comfort tee, and I get 2 or 3X depending upon how I want that style to look upon my person.
Katie Elliott wishes she could afford a Still Piece t-shirt. She's trying to drop pants with her hubby. Ask that she sends subliminal messages to him.
I will. Boy, girl Char hot and still piece t-shirts. That's how that works.
That's right, we are.
Yeah.
Edson says, I wanted a Bucky's t-shirt.
And they get better at math as soon as they put one on.
And that's saying something.
Thank you, Daniel Moyer, for $5 super chat.
Holy
Oh,
moly,
thank you.
you're awesome. I've
Keep it
decided.
up.
I'm going to say hello, hello. It's hello, Masato, okay? Richard Gladden, since foam can go inside a mask without harming latex, would one use foam clay to add features to the outside of a latex mask?
The issue is adhesion. It will stay on initially, and you'll think, hey, this is awesome. But then, when the mask flexes and the foam clay does not, you have a problem. So, the issue is adhesion. It's possible, yes. But just like, a lot of folks have horns that pop off or whatever on masks, it's just not going to glue on well enough because they stretch and flex at different rates.
Hello from Sheffield, UK.
Hello, Sheffield, UK.
Ryan even says, I missed the beginning. What's going on with the masks on the table?
So these are masks that were molded once already in their life, and I am molding them again so I can make more copies. These are masks that were produced either for my shop or by my shop. I'm not taking someone else's work and stealing it. I am just producing masks for the shop. And sometimes the mold will wear out. Like that guy right there, that goblin mold, not the one I'm working on. This is a new mask for us. But that one, I've probably sold maybe 200 of those. So I have a couple copies of that mold. And this is the way that you get copies of a mold, as opposed to just having to resculpt another one.
Do you want to show them this one?
Sure.
Mason Sherman says, anyway, I can come work with you guys. Is that how it works? I'd love to spend my hours in the studio chatting and creating.
Well, let me know if you're in town.
So this is the mold that we're remaking tonight. I don't know if you can see this, but the texture on here is not in the original mold.
In the original sculpt.
In the original sculpts. Like this is...
The mold has some chip out from degradation. What happens is it sucks the moisture out of the latex so much and so well that the plaster dries out. And then it kind of turns powdery on the inside and you lose details over time. Along with just straight up erosion, which also happens.
Malagaza says, paper mache is still awesome in my book.
It really is. And I've been using, not paper mache, but I've been using like a cloth mache technique with a waterproof wood glue. And I love that. I mean, that's very effective. And cheap.
Katie Elliott would like to know what should be my first Still Beast t-shirt.
I would go with a classic beastwear or a beast of a different color.
Classic.
Jeremiah Dempsey.
Alexa, count down 2 minutes.
Do you get more shrinkage with brushing latex or pour and well for masks?
It doesn't matter how you apply it. That's not what causes shrinkage. It's how fast it dries. If you speed dry your latex, then you're going to get more shrinkage on it than if you let it dry naturally. Latex shrinks less in the winter time here for us because it dries so slow.
James Holbrook Jr. would like to know, do you listen to the band Tool?
Like when you say do I listen to, have I heard them? Yes. Do I go out of my way to play their albums, songs, and stuff? Not really. They're great. I like them. I like their music. Did they do the I'm not the one who's so far? No. What name of Tool song that I would know?
Iowa, the Learn to Swim.
No. Okay.
46 and 2.
I never I don't have any opinion where I hate the band Tool, so I'm sure their music is fine.
Captain Mojo, paper clay is easy to make and a bit more sturdy, also easy to add texture.
Stinks fist.
The Haunted Dermot says, what mask is it you are currently molding?
This is a Screaming Orc, which is going to be a new Krampus design for us this year.
Katie Elliott. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's hello, Laura Kirchhoff.
Hey, Laura. Okay, so I am just cleaning up a little bit here, and we are ready for a new batch.
Warmonger says, your shop clock and mine used to be in sync, now yours is a minute behind. I think you time travel, right?
Well, if I'm behind, that's bad. I want to be in the future. I want to be what the future is.
Marlena Kate says, thank you for streaming tonight, Alan. I don't even want to turn on my TV today. With
Don't do
all
it.
the nonsense. I'd much rather watch you.
Don't do it.
Michael Lassiter, how many duplicate molds are you making of each?
I'm just going to make one more mold of each tonight, and then I have a mold of a clay sculpt, my new goblin that I did the other day. That guy is done, so I'll be molding him
Jones.
also. Let's go.
Jones. Jones. Jonesy. Jones love. David Carter says hello from the UK.
Hello, UK.
Greg Watkins, when Stan mixes Hypercal, do you follow the water and then plaster until it heats recipe?
So we're using UltraCal and Alexa stop. And so I put the water first, and then I sift the UltraCal on top of it until it doesn't crack.
We use cracked earth method, not the hill method or island method that you would use with plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris is kind of, it's the P word.
You gotta get that good.
Okay.
So Spastic Vision Film, sorry I'm just tuning in. I know you're creating a new mold.
I am.
What are you putting on the mask? And do you have the back packed with ink?
Yeah, so this is a buck that we made just for making more of them, okay? So this is one that we made in-house. I'm not taking someone else's mask and making a copy of it. That's recasting and that is theft. What I am doing is I am taking one of our designs and I'm making more in order to sell more.
Can I use concrete cement to bond plastic to latex?
Concrete, I think he means contact cement.
Can I use Can I use contact cement to bond plastic to
It
latex?
depends on the type of plastic, but the answer is normally yes. Some plastics are melted by contact cement. That's why you don't store contact cement in a solo cup, right, Stacy?
That is exactly why you're going to store in the solo cup.
Angel Martinez says it looks like an old man mask. Everyone is saying hello to Jones. Mason Sherman, would you rather have seen the Doors live, the Jimi Hendrix Experience live? You gotta choose.
Boy, it's like, how long do I want the contact high to last? Is that question you're asking me.
Long enough.
Probably the Doors. I would probably rather go with the Doors. Jimi Hendrix kind of went off the reservation, and while I do like the national anthem on electric guitar, it's lovely. That kind of that's just not my favorite noises in the world. So probably the Doors. I would rather have like a 35-minute long song about the King's Highway, ride the snake. I have no idea what he's talking about. I'd rather have that
I have things to read.
than the weird noise. All right. Fine. You asked me a question, I'm answering. Woman?
Cat Smith, I get so many questions when I wear more Go Make Stuff shirt to work. I work at a fabric craft store. Boss doesn't care because the apron covers the front logo.
Sweet.
Have you ever created or thought about creating a full wizard mask? Asks Blackcraft27.
I have not necessarily done a wizard mask, but I could do a wizard version of the Grave Digger. Yeah, I could do one. I do not, I have not.
Is
But I
that
could.
Beastman pop in the background?
Yeah, well, yes. Let's just say yes, there's a Beastman prop in the background. That is the easy answer to any question you ask me about Beastman, and is that a Beastman?
Michelle Schulte just super chat us $10. Says everyone's working hard. Thanks, all.
We are. This is what this used to be, and all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is what it was. It was 3 or 4 people here in the shop. We're working. We're getting something done, and just we're too busy tonight. We're too busy right now. The shop is for me to sculpt something new without getting these molds done. I'm in that mold debt. And part of that mold debt is I need more of these molds to pour up these masks faster.
Alan, what is the paint you use for painting the pumpkin mask?
Well, it'll be on our website soon. It is a mix that we use that is 1/3 casting latex, 1/3 distilled water, and 1/3 latex house paint from Home Depot, interior flat. 1/3, 1/3, 1/3.
Rachel Powell says, Alan's shirt reminds me of the old Halloween buckets from McDonald's Happy Meals.
I saw this, me too actually. I saw this at Walmart this year and I got it.
Ruth Newman says, boo. Hello, Ruth. Hi, Ruth.
What's up, Ruth?
Katie Elliott, how many times can you pull a new mold from the latex?
Well, as long as the latex holds up. So probably, I should be able to get, 10 molds off of this, no problem. And then I want to keep that latex in good shape, so I'll Armor All it, like, when I'm done with this, I'll hit it with some Armor All so I'm not killing its oils.
Abadaza, sorry, Alan, just out of curiosity, what did you say about the ultracal method versus pop method? Which I know is very different, but wondering what you meant by the method.
It's cracked earth. Cracked earth is the method that we use. We do not use the hill method or the island method that many people use with plaster of Paris. Plaster of Paris is kind of a different type of stone, and we don't use that. It's just not strong enough for what we do.
Chad Smith asks, do you get your wool from Amazon?
No, I get my wool from the Woolery, and what I mostly use is caracal wool, or I use yak fur from the Woolery.
Blackcraft 27 says, I'm looking forward to seeing a sweet wizard mask in the future. Hopefully.
That's possible. Let me get my old man winter version of the Gravedigger done first, similar to the Halloween version.
David Quintana, hello all you spooky people.
Hello, Spooky David.
Hello, Hard Beauty would like to know what is being molded.
This is the way back. Remember that Big Dog sculpted a screaming orc for me? Well, this is that screaming orc that I'm going to turn into crumpuses, and then this is going to be a new elf mold that we have.
Have you ever done a creepy tree-looking face mask?
I have done about 30 of them. I make a lot of trees. Like, tree is something pretty common for me. I actually used to play a tree at a Renaissance festival. I was a green man at the Renaissance festival, and when I did that, I had 6 different masks I made for that costume and setup, and then in haunting, I make tree monsters all the time for different haunted houses.
Ross Rucker would like you to make a Vincent Price mask sometime.
Oh.
Like to see somebody make one.
Someone should make one. You know what? I don't know. I need to find out if Mucklebones makes, they make figures. They make like resin heads and hands. I don't know if he has a Vincent Price or not.
What can I do in this little flappy bit?
Are you asking? Yeah, put it in there. That's fine. And there's actually one of those already strapped that I strapped sitting over there.
Perfect.
If you want that for reference.
Who all is in the shop tonight?
We have, in the shop, we have me. We have Stan. Hey. We have Stacy. Can they see you?
Yes.
And there's wife is right over there. Wife.
Jones?
Oh, and okay, I'm gonna do the
The whole shop tour.
Cheney, Boris, Bella, and then right at Stacy's feet right now is
Mirage.
Jones the cat, who Stacy insists on calling some made-up name.
What name?
Orange, but in like French.
Right.
What haven't you sculpted yet that you would like to sculpt?
So many things.
I'm trying to think. I don't sit around a lot. You know what I mean? Like I don't. Very few things just don't get done. So I don't know. That's a great question. I want to do a man, bear, pig. I want to make a man bear pig for the Monster Museum. That'll be fun. So yeah, that's one that I haven't done. That's kind of on my list. Oh, you know what? Actually, I've got a whole bunch of popsicle sticks around here with stuff I want to do. I want to do Triclops for the Masters of the Universe. I want to do Hordak for Masters of the Universe. I forget what all's on my list. I want to do another Oni mask, but I have made one of those. Yeah.
Very cool. On the third it says he loved your green man.
Yeah, that's right. Butch, what year did you work at, what year was that you were at Adamsville Terror Complex? That was 2002?
Joanna Crowley says prophecy bear.
Oh, well, but I've already sculpted the bear. I just have to modify and make a mask from the bear that is prophecy.
David Quinton says, my wife and I got married at the Renaissance Festival in Magnolia 37 years ago in costume. Good time.
Thanks.
Awesome.
Oh, that's great.
Urban Muller says, hello everyone. I'm working on a Vincent Price Prince of Darkness mask. Everyone loves my Jack Nicholson Joker mask.
Sweet.
There you go. Katie Elliott. I wish there was a haunted house here in Durham. I'd set one up, but I don't have the capital to do so. If you pay us such a huge amount of gold for it, it would never run out of ideas.
No.
Sounds great.
I think that you've hit upon the issue, though. Ideas are not the expensive part of haunting. It is very much I need a building and staff and stuff. And that staff wants to eat ridiculous.
I know.
Have you made a Yeti?
Yes. I'm a Yeti. Boy, I hate saying this, kind of like I'm kind of a Yeti guy. Like I make a lot of Yetis.
Points hunt. I can't wait to mold and make my own masks.
You know what I'm not? I'm not a zombie guy. Let me say that. I have some zombie masks. I probably only made like 20 of those or so in my time. Because I kind of think that zombies should be makeup, you know? But there are really good zombie masks out there. And they're not a detraction at all. They're actually really good work. And that's great. So you keep asking me, you're like softballing me things that I do a lot and I'm decent at. Like I make a lot of Yetis, I make a lot of werewolves, I make a lot of orcs and Christmas masks. So those things, they're in my wheelhouse. But what don't I do a lot of? I don't do a lot of like Vincent Price. Like you guys mentioned that one. I don't do a lot of likenesses. Likenesses isn't something I've gone to. And I just like monsters so much more than people. Although Vincent Price is, if I could bring back someone from the dead for a dinner party, it would probably be Vincent Price. He'd be offended, I'm sure, but yeah, it's a scrap.
What do you like as an average thickness to your plaster?
Buttermilk? Or how thick do I want to get it on the mold? To build up the mold, I want to have about 1 inch over everything at least.
Gabriel Silva, for a 2-piece mold, it's always a new batch of mold for each side, correct? Am I able to just power wash the clay out when I break the two
You can't,
pieces in half?
okay, so read that question again.
For a 2-piece mold, it's always a new batch of mold for each side, correct? Am I able to just power wash the clay out when I break the 2-piece mold in half?
Okay, that's a couple questions. And the answer to your first question is, you said some weird things there. That you said it's always a new batch of mold. I assume you mean a new batch of plaster. It depends on the plaster that you're using. Right now we are using Ultra Cal 30, and Ultra Cal 30 prefers to be done in 3 different layers. That's what Ultra Cal 30 wants. It wants you to do it in 3 layers. When you use a stone like Hydrocal prefers to be done all at once. It doesn't want you to do multiple layers. It doesn't want to have to bond to itself. It wants to be done all at one time. That's Hydrocal. And US #1 pottery plaster, you can do all at one time, or you can do it in layers, either one. I've seen both methods used and be successful.
Am I able to just power wash the clay out?
You should clean out as much as you can before you power wash, because you got to be able to see what you're doing. So the short answer there is yes.
you made a Medusa mask.
Yes, I have made a Medusa mask 4 different times.
What is the weirdest mask that you've ever made?
Okay, so I made a mask for a character that we called Willie Bear, and it was a mask makeup combo, and it went on my friend Justin Harlan, and it was really creepy.
Willie Bear?
Yeah.
What mask did you use before you sculpted the one with the nose?
Okay, so the one with the nose, okay, that was a Harry Bear mask.
No, that was
But,
Willie Bear.
well, we did it for Willie and for Harry.
That's true.
So yeah, so that mask was pretty weird.
Yeah.
But boy, I'll have to show you guys pictures of Justin in the Willie Bear outfit. It's creepy as heck. Yeah, like not intentionally so.
When was that?
Oh, I don't know. He did a special Christmas message, so it had to be Christmas time 1 year. I don't know. I'm bad at that. Dates are hard.
Dates is hard, man.
Okay, so back to Kat's question. The question originally was, what do you like as an average thickness to your plaster? And basically asking, how thick on the mold?
At least 1 inch on the sculpt. It's not a mold until it's finished. It is a sculpt, or is it a positive? It's a positive. Right now it's a butt, so it'll be a mold when I'm done.
Oh no, sorry, I remember. Captain Mojo, have you made a Dias de los Muertos mask? Symmetry and detail with each other.
I have, yes. And I almost did one of those the other night, but I just had too much other stuff to do. I almost did one as a live feed on Dia de los Muertos. I even told my wife I was thinking about that in the car. So,
I'm sorry, Jones. I'm sorry, buddy. Harry Foldo masks. Somewhere around 2002, he was at Adamsville. I found that dark crystal book I promised you all those years ago. When I come up that way, I will bring it to you.
cool.
Was Jones named after the cat from Aliens?
Yes. Jones is an orange tabby named after the orange tabby who was in Aliens.
Jeremiah Dempsey. What about a corpse turkey for YouTube Wednesday?
That's a possible. I'd actually decorate our turkey at the house for Thanksgiving that we have. I actually get to decorate that with teeth and fangs and all that stuff before we serve it. It's a good time.
Ever use mold release?
I use mold release all the time.
Marlena Kate, what is the best material to use in making a life cast? My goal is to make one before next season so I can sculpt my own latex mask and appliances.
Okay, so to make the life cast, I would recommend silicone, like a Gel 25. Get that from Biddy Mold Supply. You make a life cast with that. Then you make your bust, your plaster bust. I'd probably go Ultra Cal 30. It's nice and strong.
Here you go.
All right, so just a second here, because you guys have asked, Stacy, Shannon. Hi. Stacy, Shannon. We're both here today, so I know it's usually one or the other, but we got both of us tonight.
Yes.
There you go.
Officially wife, officially not wife.
Well, Tony's wife.
Tony's wife. I'm a wife, not the wife.
Tony's wife.
Do these have a little bit more give to them? Same length?
Same way.
Okay.
Is using a power washer on a mold erode detail?
That depends on what the mold is made out of. I use a 1200 PSI power washer, and on Ultra Cal 30, I don't make a mark on it. On Hydra Cal, I don't really make a mark on it. I could cut a pottery plaster mold in half with my power washer.
Just for giggles.
Yeah, I mean, they're in different leagues as far as strength of material goes.
So, okay, we'd like to know, what did young Alan Pops want to be when he grew up?
Okay, so when I was very young, there was a very serious conversation had with me when I was 8 years old that I could not grow up and be a gorilla. Because that was what I wanted to be. Look at me now. That was what I wanted to be when I was very young. The gorilla lifestyle appealed to me, and I thought that would be awesome. And then they explained at 8 that I could not be a gorilla. I went, okay, well, maybe I want to work with gorillas. And shortly after that, I discovered haunted houses at the age of 10 years old. And so from the age of 10, I knew I wanted to be a haunted house person.
Have you ever made an evil nutcracker mask?
Yes, I have made, I hate saying this, I've made several evil nutcracker masks. I work at a show that does Christmas pretty heavily, so yes.
Poor beauty, how come I have the feeling that Brain X is not going to be used in your band?
No, okay, yeah, there's a, you guys have such sharp eyes. There's a thing of Rain-X over here, and that is, I use that to clean my airbrush. If it's alcohol-based ink, okay, the Patch AH, then I clean that with carburetor cleaner. But if I'm cleaning out a Patch AH and I use like the latex mask paint or acrylics, then I use the Rain-X, because I use carburetor cleaner because carburetor cleaner is made to get fiddly. It's made to get sticky gunk out of fiddly metal bits. Okay, so that's what it's made to do. And an airbrush is made of fiddly metal bits. And then I use the Rain-X windshield wiper bug prevention type of windshield cleaner to clean my airbrush from the other type of paint, acrylics and whatnot, because that compound is meant to get sticky organic gunk off of clean metal parts. So kind of works out. So latex paint, I use latex or acrylic. I use Rain-X to clean my airbrush. Alcohol would just make it gum up.
Harry Full Third says that haunt had the Dante's Inferno, the paintball clown house, the haunted trail with Lord of the Ring orcs, and the big haunted house that shot fire.
Yes.
Really?
That Dante's Inferno, facade, I don't have a single picture of it. I don't have a single picture of that, and I love that thing.
Sleeping Winks, the robot teddy bear head you built would look awesome inserted into a large teddy bear, fur torn and burnt around the edges.
Yes, it would. I concur.
Alan, did you want to be King Kong?
Man, I loved King Kong as a kid. Actually, I had a King Kong doll toy from the 70s version. There was a stuffed King Kong toy doll, stuffed animal, whatever, with a hard plastic face. And I carried that thing everywhere. Like, I loved it. And, and I don't have that one anymore, but I have another. I have a different one that I bought to replace it. Same stuffed King Kong with a hard plastic face. Love him.
David Quintana says, I guess my question should have been, when is mold release most necessary?
Okay, so there's a couple different types of mold release, and it depends on what stage you're at and what you're doing. I use a release to release the clay. Normally it's clay from the mold. In this case I use Pledge. That's my normal release for clay from Plaster, or in this case latex from Plaster. And then when I'm making a mold, I will use Vaseline as a release from the two halves of the mold to make sure that both halves of the mold separate. That's a different situation and a different release. If I am doing a silicone mold and doing acrylic pours or resin pours, then I use a different type of release. Normally I use a spray in, like a Pardol or something like that.
Chad Smith would like to know, have you used the baby alpaca top wool before?
I honestly, right now, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I'd have to go look over there and see what I've got. I used yak. I used the caracal wool. That's my favorite from them. But I don't know about the others. I bought a bunch to experiment with. It's over there in bags.
Love your shirt. Alan, how do you feel about zombie werewolves? I'd like to try and create one.
I don't think they exist. Zombie werewolves. I don't think it's bad. Look up Casey Love. He is a mask maker, and he did a werewolf wolf head that was really diseased and stuff, and it looks beautiful. Of course, all of Casey Love's sculpting work is amazing.
Since you were 10, you were destined for haunt greatness.
I don't know about greatness. I'm destined for haunt stuff.
Katie Elliott says, my 8-year-old wants to be a dinosaur.
That, you know what? I think that's a great career choice.
Jennifer Pugh says, Shannon and Stacy, I just tuned in and heard one voice, then I heard the other, and I was confused. Nice to see so many people in the shop.
Yes, this is the bustling shop that Still Beat Studios normally is, you know, pre-COVID. You know, I have work to do. I have projects to do.
Alan, have you ever thought about making a 3-headed monster like King Ghidorah from Godzilla movies?
I've made a Cerberus animatronic for Scream's Halloween Park in Texas. Cerberus is one of my faves. I did a 3-headed Hydra for another show that I was at forever ago. So I made one. I haven't made a King Ghidorah.
Hey, plastic ninja.
The upside of that is that I would only need to sculpt the head one time, and then I would have all 3 heads. Hashtag neck stumps.
John C. I saw a close-up of the stage, used nutcracker mask completely made of mesh so the dancer can see, not just out of the eyes, but everywhere. It blurs into a solid face from the distance.
Yeah, it's buckram is what they probably use. Is material called buckram, or yeah, probably buckram.
David Quintana says, I always got sad when the monster died.
As long as there's no light, me too. As long as there's no light inside of the head, you're fine. And stage is a little bit different. It's harder to control that from a haunted house perspective, but I did experiment with doing masks out of that. And I do a lot of screen and stuff on my masks too.
Captain Mojo says you were like Eddie Munster.
Yes, I
Ken
was.
Zarish, what about doing a half Godzilla, half King Kong mask? Would you make one?
I don't know that this is a you got your chocolate and my peanut butter situation where I would enjoy it or would be a great thing. I might make a half alligator, half gorilla. Like, I think I would do that, because that's not nearly as copyrighted as all those other things you mentioned, which would have a similar outcome. Maybe a half iguana, half alligator. That would be kind of nice.
Knuckles X. Bit off topic, but I was wondering what's the best method would be for removing air bubbles from a particularly bubbly batch of latex.
Okay, is it the latex that's bubbly? What I would probably do is, this is going to sound crazy, tape a garbage bag over it, you get your vacuum cleaner. When you put your vacuum cleaner on top, you poke a hole in that garbage bag, you hold it up. And then you're going to suck the air out of that bucket. And all those bubbles will come up to the top and they'll pop. So you basically kind of mini vacuum chambering. It's a vacuum chamber. Let me get. Oh. Yes.
Scraps. An old Don Post Max Factory video. Mask Factory video.
Max Factory.
Max Factor.
Right? They appeared to soak batches in baths and then throw them into a commercial dryer. Do you happen to know why?
The batch, the vat they're putting them in is probably vinegar in order to make sure that all that latex on the inside is cured, and then they throw them into the dryer to speed that cure up. That way they can get a pull in about 10 or 15 minutes. But a mask has to be sculpted a certain way. It doesn't work with a lot of the stuff that I do. A lot of mask makers don't do like protruding teeth. And I'm not saying this to toot my own horn. I'm saying this because I'm amazed at how many people live in a world of darkness. A lot of mask makers look at the stuff that I mold and they're like, oh my gosh, it's a molding nightmare. How many pieces was that mold? Like 1 piece mold, man, it's latex, it's stretchy. But you have to let it cure, you have to let it cure. A lot of people don't explore and go far out on their stuff because they're afraid of multiple piece molds or undercuts, which are not really a factor. Undercuts are almost not a factor at all with wet clay and a latex pulp. Thanks. I'm gonna do one more over here, just for fun.
Hey, Alan, have you ever made a mask or a costume of a skinwalker?
I did do a skinwalker one time. I was very happy with that. We did the version that was it was a coyote or wolf skull, and then we did the strips of flesh hanging down. Very cool stuff.
What do you think of the new Masters of the Universe toy line that has come out?
I like them. I have several of the Origins toys over here.
Alan, do you think a terrapin blank could be modified to be a hooked horror? Or perhaps could you add a hooked horror to your Wednesday bingo Sunday? Hooked arm candies would go well with it too.
Yes, I was actually thinking about doing an owl bear out of terrapin. I was thinking about doing an owl bear, but a hooked horror would also be good. A hooked horror has a bit more of a pronounced beak to me. So I think that hey Stan, you hang that one over right there. I think a hooked horror might be its own sculpt, whereas I could get away with it for an owl bear.
Plastic Image says, did someone say Deidre? Deidre.
Someone did, and you were summoned.
David Carter, what's the color of the orange paint on the pumpkin mask?
I'm going to say it's orange. It is actually called Signal Orange, right?
Emergency zone.
Oh, Emergency Zone. Emergency Zone. Right into...
That's the color at the store.
Yeah, that's the color at Home Depot. Emergency Zone.
Darren Reed, I see you're using burlap on this mold, but most you don't. What's the difference between the two for you?
I've started making thinner molds. And when you make a thinner mold, you want to have the strength of burlap.
Have you ever made an Iron Maiden Eddie mask of any kind?
Not on purpose.
Chad Smith says that is a huge Funko pop.
Yes, it is a 10-inch pop.
Hey, Grappy UK says, hi guys, hoping you're all keeping well. Sorry about the quality of the pics I put on the website. I'm going to do a video at the weekend.
Scrappy, you pay the Dragon Master.
I haven't got to see it yet.
Oh man, it looks really good.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Dave
I haven't
Elliott,
done a lot of interneting.
have you ever made a mask or a costume that needed a CCT camera type thing to see, like Adam Savage's Totoro?
No. That's not a best case for an actor. Now, have we done something similar? Yes. When I lived in Orlando, I worked with the Joe Blasco Makeup Center, and I was their model for their advanced prosthetics class. And there was a costume there that I was in for them that required that. And it's not fun. Like, it's not great to wear, and you're robbing the actor. Remember, I'm a haunted house guy. I'm not a movie guy. You're robbing the actor of seeing the guests that they're working for. And that traditionally doesn't work out well because the actors won't do that very long. They don't have a reward system for that. So it's a tough sell.
Jan Neal says hello, and that Stan, she has that shirt.
Nice.
Harry Fulmer
Hi,
says,
baby.
have you wanted to,
Wow.
thought of
That's my wife.
Look at this.
Jana Neal?
That's her main
Jana!
Oh, it died
I
in the
don't-
bucket. Big
Yes,
time.
we lost some plaster in the bucket. How long ago did you make this?
By the time you started talking about half hour beers or something.
Oh no.
Thank you, might have another. Well, I don't do that a lot.
You caught me monologuing.
Right.
Harry Fulmer, have you wanted to or thought of doing a Too Bad Masters of the Universe mask?
I have thought about Too Bad. I don't know how I'm going to do Too Bad because the two heads they're directly opposite each other. So it would take a good bit of work to make it work out. It's possible, but it's a lot of effort.
Chad Smith said, what a nice paperweight.
Yeah.
Marlena Kate said, sew an owl head to the bear body. And then Blackcraft 27 says, how about a half raven, half lizard?
You're just making stuff up now.
Finn Godwolf says, I'd love to see an owl bear mask. I'll be voting for that. Let's see. Evan McCretchen, yesterday I got into a fight on YouTube just because I commented first on a video.
That?
I hope you learned your lesson.
Yeah. I mean, what was your comment?
Warmonger, that door leading to your mold room, is that Jonesy-sized cat door on the bottom?
Yes, it is. That is a cat door on the bottom. That is a dog-free zone.
But we've got cat doors everywhere.
Yeah, we have a cat door. We live in the country, so mice could be an issue. So there's a cat door to get into the shed where I keep all the stuff for the booth. I don't want mice in there, so the cats can go in there and patrol. Our kitties are working kitties.
Unless they're napping. They bring us what they kill. Have you
This is almost a Alan, have you ever like episode? They're just asking. Okay, you have another one. Okay.
Unless you want me to kill them.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. I've made a lot of stuff.
Have you ever made a half man, half bear, half pig?
No, and actually about 20 minutes ago, someone asked, is there a mask that you haven't made that you want to? And I said, a man-bear-pig. I said that. So, because I want to put one in the Monster Museum. I'm going to make a man-bear-pig at some point in time. And it's not a bad first edition work either.
The Haunt Dermot says, too bad would be good as a prop. That way an actor's head would not be an issue.
Yeah, stupid actor issue head.
Skin and bones, so there's plenty of food for the kitties.
Not back there, but yes. Yeah, there's plenty of food for everybody in this house.
Marlena Case, what was your favorite venue that you did the props for?
Oh. So,
Gosh.
I got to make stuff that's at Universal Studios. That's a good one. I worked with at Spooky World in New England, like way back. I worked there in 2000, back when I was in Foxborough. Dark Hour's really awesome. I'm not going to lie about that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's good. You know, let's say Dark Hour is pretty awesome. Universal Studios is pretty awesome. Islands of Adventure. Yeah. Any other questions there, wife?
Yep. Says I commented first because you want to be the first one in the comment, but I don't know what to say.
Oh, so someone said, quit wasting this person's time by just saying first. Got it.
Who knows? 176 people are watching.
Hello, 176 people. Hello.
Hello.
When in doubt, kids, replace your goblin.
Should I still do Monster Camp with a latex contact allergy?
It's a terrible idea. I'm going to say no. I mean, you know what? If you have a latex allergy and you walk into this room, you're going to die. You're just going to die. I have 3 air scrubbers, you'd still die. I mean, every surface in here has been covered in latex at one point or another. So you couldn't lean on anything, you couldn't touch anything. You have to wear like a respirator that's attached to a fishbowl on top of your head. You wouldn't like it. This is a latex allergy person's worst nightmare.
Paul Bennett, just finally took out all thread out of my old mask. We'll add softness here. Robert Andrea, wish I could have met you when you were in Spooky World. That was my go-to forever living.
Where did you? Oh, okay, gotcha. You didn't act there. You just went there. That's awesome. But I wasn't me then. I was a stick figure in a stilt costume. You know.
And Wolf says, I think working for Jane Lane as a wolfman on roller skates is pretty awesome.
You know what? The coolest thing about that job is that he loved to play foosball, and him and another band guy taught me how to play foosball, and I love playing foosball. So we would play foosball. Me and Janie Lane and some other band people. I was, would play foosball there. The bar would close. He'd send everybody else home. We were just there playing foosball.
Now, did you add another hair scrubber?
Yes, I have 3 in here now. I added one right over my painting station because I was drawing all the fumes from my painting station out to the others, and that just spread them around the room. So why not put one right over where I work?
So Andrea says I was there almost every night. My band played a few times.
Oh, that's awesome. I was a gargoyle on stilts, a big giant bat monster. On stilts, quadruped, lots of running around, good times.
Francis O, have you ever used Acrylic 60 for the first coat of a hydrocal mold? If so, was it useful?
No, I don't like it because the reason why you would use hydrocal is because it has faster wicking capabilities. And if you put Acryl 60 in it, you're closing off about half of those pores, and it slows down the wicking. It makes hydrocal wick like ultracal, but it makes it almost as strong as ultracal. So why not just use ultracal? Yeah.
Thank you, Rick Breakaway, for $24.99.
Oh my goodness, that's so nice of you. Thank you so much.
Thank
Awesome.
you for everything you have taught.
Oh, that's very kind. I love making stuff, and I want other people to make stuff. Because eventually I won't have to.
Robert Andrea says, hopefully you never were in the tomato throwing booth back at the 3D clown disco.
No. If I could avoid the anything clown, even back then, I did. Okay.
Trust me.
I'm probably, yeah. I'm watching it. I'm not going to let it, I won't let it die.
Throwing out the legs.
I think I'm just going to do a layer around the bottom. Yeah, one on top, 2 on top. Yeah, Acryl 60 is a bonder fortifier for concrete, and it looks like Elmer's glue, it smells like Elmer's glue, and it glues things together like Elmer's glue. I think it's just Elmer's glue. So I used it, I did some experiments with it, and I found that just wasn't something that I needed.
Have you ever been to or worked with the haunt at Eastern State Penitentiary?
Yes, I've been there, I've done several tours, and they have purchased some masks from me.
What type of foam did you use on your mask?
Okay, so I use TC66. I use, well, there's polyfoam F3. I use that too, but it's TC266. It's a very soft foam, very soft, very squishy.
Everything is strapped. Is this all of the rivets there?
No, there's going to be more in there, and there's probably more in that box too, in packages.
The mold has to be 1 inch thick, am I right? That's mold in it?
Yes, Paul, yes, 1 inch thick, at least. That's what I like.
Katie Elliott. Okay, so after you said about being a quadruped monster, would you consider the front legs made for a YouTube Wednesday please?
Yes, I can do that.
Sweet logo. What's up, dude? Watching the channel? It's made me get off my butt, clean my garage, and start making stuff. Halloween was a big success despite COVID, making a Dollar Tree bear right now. Thanks.
I love that. That makes me so happy. I'm so glad to hear that you're making one and that you've started making some things. That's very cool.
How long does it take for these molds to dry before they are usable?
I mean, at Monster Camp, we make the mold in one day, we clean the mold, then we pour the mold up. So you can use them the same day. Before I demold these, I want this plaster to cure well. So I'm not going to pull this guy out until like 9:30. That'll be the ending, probably, because I want this plaster to kick.
Misty Jezreski says, I started passing out supply lists to my friends of what I'm looking for next Halloween. They gave me the strangest looks to remind me I have almost a year, and I respond, exactly.
I only have a year. It's terrible.
E&J Outdoor Adventures. I'm making a mold of spray foam. We got it all over our hands. What's the best way to get it off?
Hold on. They're making what?
A mold out of spray foam. I got it all over our hands.
Oh, okay, so I don't advise making a mold out of spray foam. Just structurally, it's a different animal. It's not necessarily great at that. But you're already there. Baby oil. Baby oil helps get spray foam off of your hands. Yes, be very careful with spray foam and don't get it on your hands.
Tank says, is tonight a distraction from the election? Yes, and no political talk.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about it. Tonight this is just work that I have to do, in all honesty. My life is such that luckily I'm constantly distracted. I don't even have to worry about making something up.
I love the bear that you made today, and I can't wait till next Halloween to make it.
But I thought that you guys might enjoy just a little something different.
You clear? You can do it from there, 'cause I'll
I
do
can.
this. Okay. So tagging in Stacy. Stacy's now going to be reading your comments because I have orders to ship and some dinner to make. So Stacy, take it away.
All right, what was our last thing we got?
Shannon read Tank's
Yeah,
comment.
that was actually right there on time.
All right.
So actually, if you can scroll it all the way down.
Camera
Hi
move,
from
please.
Phoenix. Hi from Phoenix.
Hello, Phoenix.
Okay, I'm gonna go bring you guys some dinner.
E&J said they were too cheap to buy gloves. Gave the advice. Also, they want to be able to see what's happening.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you couldn't see what was happening. I'm not good at this.
Yellow Mockingbirds is hi from Phoenix.
Hello. Is
Wait,
anybody else upset like the city of Phoenix hasn't burned down? Like, that should be a thing. Like, if you name your city Phoenix, you're obligated to burn it down like every 50 years and just start over.
My professional heart just.
I'm just
Exactly
saying.
not the direction I thought you were heading.
Like, it's named Phoenix, It's named Phoenix. You're going to name it something after something that burns down all the time or catches itself on fire. There should be repercussions.
Hoyt Hunt says I vote for Wolfman.
I always vote for Wolfman. Yes.
Big Dog Mess, Rock Bed, Neck Creepers.
Good night, Big Dog.
James Holbert Jr. says I saw your video of you using Sawzall and made me think you worked construction.
No, we're at work right now. Like, this is what I do. This
You're
is,
talking about me.
See the other
Okay,
stuff we
smart no.
yeah, other than this, not really. Now, do I build haunted house stuff? Yes. You will occasionally see me framing out haunted house or putting together wall panels or that kind of stuff. But, no, this is my job. I make stuff for haunted houses.
Diane Verbal says hello from Michigan.
Hello, Diane. Lovely of you to join us.
Kimberly99 says I'm really loving this video. Seeing different processes.
Yeah, this is how I do it. I'm gonna call this guy done right now.
Oh, and Big Dog says thanks for using my mask.
Of course, that's why we did it. It's just everything has its time, and I knew it was going to be Krampusy, and now it's time for Krampus.
Is that this Monster Camp?
No, this is one that he made after Monster Camp on his own.
Alright, nice, okay, nice.
Katie Ellis.
Doing the things.
I'm not talking politics, but I thought you might like that there's a party in the UK called the Monster Raving Loony Party.
I'm down. Sounds good to me.
Harry Fullbone the Third asks, who is your favorite Masters of the Universe character?
Beastman. Here, look. I have a little Beastman shrine over here. This is, yeah. So this is a custom Beastman that I made. That's the Mega Constructs Beastman. That's the Beastman Origin Beastman. This is the 200X Beastman. Yeah. That's the Filmation Beastman. That's classic Beastman back there. And then there's the Eternia Mini Beastman down there, and then there's a 10-inch. There's the big figure up there, Beastman, and there's a 10-inch pop there. I like my Beastman. I have other versions of Beastman at my office. When in doubt, Beastman.
Marlena, is Is the vampire ball like politically related? She was talking about that it sounds about right, and she misses Europe. That would be really cool. I don't know what it would be in relation to politics, but
The vampire party?
yeah.
Anti-sunlight.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I've experienced a vampire party in my time.
Patrick says, okay, he says that one's done. He keeps adding more to it.
Yeah, that's how I do it. You know, you never trust when it's done. It's like, okay, that's thick enough. Is it thick enough right there? You know. And this is a piece that I've had for months, and I haven't had a chance to mold it. So now that I've got it, like, do I remember all of it? Do I know I have an inch over everything? I think I do. And Stan is going to talk you through his plaster stirring process.
This is my hand stirring plaster. So you just missed it. What we did was we took 24 ounces of water and we put in here, and maybe later we can actually show the whole thing. And what we do is we do, like Alan said earlier, we do what's called a cracked earth method. And right before he had me come over, I just started stirring it. So this is the consistency. You guys have seen it. It's like maybe buttermilk, almost pancake in between. And what I'm doing right now is I'm reaching in here and I'm making sure that all of the plaster, all of the powder is really thoroughly mixed in. One of the things you have to look at is time-wise. And this says 30 minutes, but it's really warm in here. And we already made plaster in this bucket, so it's going to kick off a lot faster. But with that, and there you go.
Lisa Art asked you, Stan, what you do for Halloween?
I went over to a friend of mine's house, and they had like this sort of flamethrower thing. And I put on my goblin mask and scared children from afar.
He has that really awesome CFX mask.
Yeah, the implant.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love that mask.
Every mask is beautiful.
Joel asked, do you do any special props or decor for haunted house bathrooms?
Haunted house bathrooms.
Like the
No.
actual bathrooms or bathrooms
No,
in the
like
show?
like show bathrooms. See, that's like something that we have to worry about at dark hour, because there is a actor kitchen, there is a front of house kitchen, and there is a kitchen in the show. So when someone says, "Hey, meet me in the kitchen and bring this," well, which one do you mean?
She says, not at all. It's a huge party that they have. Typically one of the castles up near Hill, where everybody dresses up in Victorian wear, or at least fancy and parties.
Oh, when someone said party, I thought they meant political party.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all.
That is 100%.
We all went with that,
Not
yeah.
being political. Now I'm a little bummed that that's not a political party.
Yeah, okay.
Leonard Cook asked, any ideas for a not so slender man mask?
Are you asking about like Chub Man? I mean, that's what I would play.
A fluffy slender man?
Well, what I have done for characters like that is the closer the mask is to the person's face, the smaller the eye holes can be. And there was a promo that went around in England and the UK for some kind of a TV show, and they had faceless people that would go to restaurants and events. And you can look up how they did that. And it was all these just little holes all around the eye, but you couldn't see it because of how it was, painted, and they were really small, but you could see out of it well enough.
Cat Swift asked Stan, 24 ounces of water to how much plaster?
As much as it takes.
Yes, as much as it takes. You put in plaster until you get the cracked earth method. And I actually have a video just on how to mix plaster.
Jeremiah Dempsey asks, how big in terms of volume are the plastic tubs? Plaster tubs.
The tub that I store it in, or the bucket that we're mixing it in. So I'm willing to bet that is a 3/4 of a gallon bucket.
Chad Smith says, the stocking cap and the pink rubber glove makes me think of Clark Griswold in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Sweet Logo says, I want to make a body for the Dollar Tree bear. Should I go the cool little heat gun method?
You could, but actually I wouldn't. I would go to Home Depot and look at their selection of flower pots, because they're going to have some awesome flower pots. They're not going to be that expensive, get them out of plastic, and then it's going to look like a robot. If you look up what a gonk droid is from Star Wars, it's a garbage can on top of a remote control car. It's a it's a garbage can with feet. And then you add nurnies and gubbins to it in order to make it into a droid.
All right.
And you do that same kind of thing.
We are now corrected again. Monster Raven is a gold party.
Oh, okay. Great.
Ross Richard says, Stan, I love your Jackie Kennedy glove.
Stands down. He knows what he's doing.
Use what you got.
Gabriel Silva says, I've seen one of your videos where you sprayed the clay sculpture with pan cooking spray. Is this important? I've also seen people use Krylon spray paint. Is one better than the other?
I don't think you have seen one where I spray the clay sculpture with pan. I don't do that. You've seen someone else do that. What I spray with pan is I spray the wall, the plaster wall, in between the two sides of a plaster mold. I've made one side, then I spray pan, and then I make the other side. I do not spray it on the clay.
Celeste Kitty says, I did mesh over my eyeless looks with SFX. Would work on masks too.
It's possible. The issue is lighting. What I don't like about a lot of the eye meshes is that all those little threads are nylon, and the nylon has a glint in the light, and as soon as all of those threads glint, that glint is big enough to cover up the hole you're supposed to see out of. So mesh gets hard to see in high light conditions. It's fine in low light conditions, terrible in low light conditions.
You'd like to know what the volume is on the trick-or-treat buckets.
I would say about 3/4 of a gallon. I do not know for sure because they don't really make them. I would say this is 3 bellyaches if you got that full of Halloween candy.
Marlena Kate says, if you're curious about the vampire ball, look up the vampire ball at Town Hall. I will. John Lowell says, that could be cool as long as it can take a lot of liquid before it's gone. Oh, I think they're talking about there's a side combo happening about a red bath bomb in a bloody vampire urinal cake.
Okay.
Also, just because we have a lot of comments tonight, folks, just remember if you're having a conversation sidebars, just tag the people you're talking to so that
So she doesn't have to read it.
I don't have to read it. John C. says, if you want to make an amazingly scary haunt room for me, have a classroom with a math final exam. Tell me I'm late.
So one of the things that I wanted to do at one point in time for Dark Hour was during our Nightmares year, and I couldn't figure out how to do it and make it work with the rest of the haunt.
Yeah.
Is pull people off to the side and have them go through a dark hallway, and then suddenly they're out on stage in front of the whole queue line, and someone just walks up and says, here's your speech. And hands them a written speech, and the whole queue line is just staring at them, you know?
Oh my
So,
God.
yes, exactly. That's what I want, because public speaking is one of the #1 fears.
Yeah.
So, like, how could I do that? And the only way I could think of was to, well, put a few of them out in front of the line, you know?
Finn Godwell says, Alan, I haven't seen you use your Loctite foam plaster mix in a while. Are you still using that recipe?
No, what I end up doing is I'll make a cap on top of the mold out of Loctite foam. I don't have to mix it in. It works okay, but it's it's fine as just Loctite foam on top, just to flatten it off.
Skin and Bone says, Alan, you're an encyclopedia of horror knowledge.
Oh, I don't know about that. I just like monsters.
Celeste Kitty says, I used a cloth type mesh, no glinting.
Great.
Chad Smith asks, does anyone in here do 3D printing? I guess he's unchecked.
Not yet, but I'm gonna.
Sweet Logo says, Dollar Tree Bear Body. I have no idea what you just said. If you have time and what to make it, I'd love to see your take on it.
That's the plan. I'm actually going to do one for him. It probably won't be until we're into December, though. My goal is to outwork Stan. I have to apply the plaster faster than Stan can make the plaster. And I failed once because Stan had a batch that just dried on me.
Yeah, it's a good monologue. You were rolling. I didn't want to miss it.
Hey, James Bond's getting away. James Bond is getting away. Oh. Should have interrupted me. Stan, can you see yourself?
Hey.
Mitch Galloway says you just tuned in. What are we working on tonight?
I'm making some molds. I have to make some molds for Christmas time. So I'm remolding an elf mask, and I'm remolding a orc mask that will be a Krampus mask.
Rachel Powell says beverage needs a refill.
Yeah.
So this is what we had talked about earlier. I'm just gonna put this down here. The like cracked earth. You can see how it looks like kind of a dry riverbed. And once you get to that point, when you've mixed enough plaster in it, then we'll count off 2 minutes, let it really absorb as much water as it can, and then we'll mix it up and we're ready to use it.
Katie Elliott says Al will need a washing line, ironing board, and a packet of potpourri to do well on his way. Celeste Kitty says he's gonna do that and it'll go up his nose one day, and that gift will live forever.
So like channel.
What were you sniffing?
Remember,
Uh-oh. Chat disconnected. Successful.
No, it's not.
Alright. Sonova says I'll finish the head and put the bear on the back burner. I'm so jazzed.
Sweet. Bear is happening. Yeah, I think I'm going to make a couple for Christmas.
Marlene Kate asks, how big is your workshop? Is it inside a separate building?
Yes, it is its own little building. I have about 1,900 square feet. So my workshop now is bigger than my old house.
Dirty Santa says, Alan, have you heard any feedback on the drive-through haunted houses this season? New trend?
I think it is a new trend because it's cheaper for the haunts to do than hayrides. That's what they learned. They learned that the overhead is less on this than it is on the actual hayride haunted house. So you'll probably see it again for at least a couple years. The haunted car washes were a surprise big hit. Mm-hmm. You know, that's kind of remarkable. That's new and nice.
2 birds, 1 stone. Laura Beatty says, haunted car wash?
Yes, haunted car washes, they're kind of a thing now.
Yep.
on the news here.
Several car washes, you know, haunted houses can't open, so they put haunted house actors in their car wash. So in between suds, and I've actually been contacted to make specialty gear for waterproof, water resistant, and detergent resistant, because detergent will break down latex.
Oh yeah.
Gear for haunted car washes. Tis true. Tis true.
Poison asked Alan, did you like Moss Man? That would be a cool mask.
I did like Moss Man, and since I made a Beast Man mask called Beast Mode, all I have to do is pull it out and flock it, and I have a Moss Man.
Gregory Haynes asked Alan, did your neighbor's house sell?
Not yet. No.
They waiting for you?
Must be that giant troll head I leaned up against the fence. What's up with that guy?
Says, I had 6 Christmas orders this weekend. I think folks desperately want to decorate and be festive earlier than usual. Hopefully we will all be crazy busy.
I am very surprised at how Christmas is going for me right now. I've had a lot of big orders come through of people ready. One of which I've already agreed to drive out and deliver in person in Alabama.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's too big of an order.
Boyd's Hunt says, awesome, perfect, I like the way you think. Laura Beauty says, I need to YouTube this haunted car wash. Never heard of this. But car washes are too short. They've got to be a long haunted car wash.
Well, honestly though, how long is your car in a car wash? 5-7 minutes? You know, they put it on the super wash or the deluxe, or they could do a custom cycle. They could do a custom cycle where it goes slower and they blind you with the suds. I mean,
Also, the one that we drove by on our way home on Halloween night
Mhm.
had a whole outdoor, outside of their car wash, drive-through section set up as well.
oh yeah,
Oh yeah, like tarps and
That's
you can see
cool.
light and So it was neat. And their line stretched all the way out into the street, down the block.
Wow.
Pretty fun.
Yeah.
Bone says we were making awesome burgers, Alan.
Come on.
Marlena K says, my first time seeing you was during one of your monster classes where you were teaching a huge class how to make a ghost by taping yourself with packing tape.
That video is called Boiler Room Body, and that was a group effort where I was teaching that while they were building a set in the background, and building the set was like part of the class. And that was such a good time.
Baba Daza said, thanks, Stan. That's super helpful.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Stan.
Custom Corpses says, good evening, guys. DJ Styles here.
What's up, man?
Catswip says, here in LA, they had a very successful Honda car wash. People were lined up for blocks.
Yeah.
Sweet Logo says, we did the Honda car wash here in Huntington Beach, California. It was pretty good. Still looking forward to the theme park mazes again.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, but what that means is I think that's another option, you know.
John C. says, I answer non-stop questions at a retail store, and years ago someone said, you're on channel 2, and a guy pointed a huge TV at me, and I babbled some nonsense and felt myself turning red.
Yes. Yes. I hear you. That was back to my cue line.
ADL says, Stacy, what are you making at the moment? Well, not the
She's
exact
reading
moment.
comments because she's reading comments or else they wouldn't get read. One of the things that we pride ourselves on here at the YouTube channel is that we interact, we talk to people. And I need someone just to stay on top of that. Right now there's 155 people watching, and I kind of need, you know, my focus has to be on my work. I'm trying to get something done, but I want to be able to answer questions and interact. So I need someone to just do that.
She did say, well, not this exact moment.
Oh, well then, I answered for you. I was defending you. Like,
I
she's
know.
not just sitting around, guys. Come on. Yeah.
Twiddling my thumbs over here. The project that I'm working on currently is I'm revamping my Mrs. Claus costume to try and shift away from CLAWS Claus to a more friendly, like Mrs. CLAUSE Claus, or CLAUS, I guess. So I think I need a new cape for that, and maybe a new skirt. We'll see. And still making masks, pandemic masks, you know, because that's still happening.
That's still a thing.
That's still a thing. Finn Godwolf says, wasn't there a horror movie scene where the characters were being attacked and killed in a car wash called Creeps or something like that?
I don't know.
Sweet Logo says, oh crap, wife's home, gotta go, family time.
Okay.
Hoyt's Aunt says, you all do a great job.
Thanks.
Thank you.
John C says, what is Stacy making? She's making people happy.
Hooray.
Sweet.
One in a row.
Y'all gonna make me blush.
This means something.
I'm about to be making homecoming month. I cleared off all my workspace at home. Tomorrow is
Do you have a big enough table?
I don't.
It's Texas.
I
They're
literally
really
have to.
big.
I have to rig it up over a stand thing because Gray has expectations.
Right. Gotta go over
Understand.
the shoulder.
This year it's going to be a sash thing.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Last year she made the yearbook for Biggest Mom, so we got to up the ante.
I see.
Now it's real. This time it's personal.
Custom Corpses. I'm definitely going to do a lot more half masks. They are easily converting to full masks with adding fabric of any kind with the help of latex.
Who said that?
Custom Corpses.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the way to go. They're also more comfortable for the actor. If collectors want full head masks, that's what collectors want. So if you're making for collectors, then you're going to need to go full head mask.
Katie Elliott says, Al, I'm definitely getting Close Encounters / mashed potato vibes.
Right. This means something. Yes. One of my great Mandela effects is that was Richard Dreyfuss, but I thought it was, who was the actor who played Jackson Pollock in the Jackson Pollock movie?
Ed Harris.
Yeah, I thought it was Ed Harris.
Oh, right.
In my brain, for years, I see Ed Harris doing that scene.
That's
I
right.
see him in that movie. It was Richard Dreyfuss. That's one of my Mandela effects. I just like flipped the camera up. I was like, is someone standing in the corner? It's Frankenstein back there. who still needs longer arms one of these days.
It's T-Rexy.
Yeah. That's his rat name.
T-Rex.
Marlene
Yeah.
Kate says, Stacey, have you considered making pandemic masks that can double as Halloween masks? There's a chance this will still be going on or going on again next year. Oh yeah.
I thought about that, but if you made the mask, Stacy, so that there was a fold here, but then you could flip it up over your face, so then it would cover the whole face.
Yeah.
That could be funsies.
Heck yeah.
Your face. I call something like that. That's like a haunt manager mask, where
Where you need to have face
Yes.
at some point, but you can still pop in. Celeste Kitty asks, what's the best way to make a snowy graveyard scene in Florida? Maybe misty would work better?
No, I mean, just go all out, fake the snow, man. So what we do is at dark hour, we're in Texas and we're indoors, so it's hard to get snow there. Go to a upholstery supply company and they have batting, and it's on a roll, like a giant roll of batting. And it's not expensive. And instead of trying to put it all over everything, think about snow that's been there for a few days. So you cut it in those wavy lines and put it in corners. Put it like right against the house and the lawn and put it in that area.
In the front edges of
Yeah, and then in any kind of low light, it looks beautiful. Take cotton batting or fiberfill, and you put that on top of your tombstones and hit it with hairspray and then scrunch it down so it's that compact, but it's on top. We do it in the graveyard at dark hour, and it's amazing the transformation that it gives. With the snow on top of things where it would land, even on, like, we have an iron fence, and they'll do a little strip and a pile, and a strip and a pile. It's not easy, it's not fast. It takes about 2 or 3 days for 2 people to snow the graveyard. So worth it, so worth it.
Richard Gladden says, I'm waiting on that Frankenstein monster in the back to charge the camera. Custom Corpse says, yeah, not going after collectors yet, need more experience for that. Robert White, I hope you're feeling better. I hope this is the drugs talking and you're not having another heart attack or stroke right now. Biggie Group says, darn it, late to the party. Milton Knowles is saying, which king, should I make a giant chicken and bacon sandwich for dinner or chicken and cheeseburgers?
There's nothing wrong with a chicken bacon sandwich, as long as you also have provolone cheese on it. You don't want a yellow cheese, it clashes with the chicken. Do a Swiss. Swiss is good, Munster is good, but I prefer provolone myself.
John says, no, Alan, Ed Harris was the marine biologist in Jaws.
That's right, that's right.
Handy Adar says hi.
Hello, how are you?
Skinny Bone says, Urban Legends in Orange County, California was a huge letdown.
That happens sometimes. It could have been a bad night, it could have been a terrible show, who knows?
Katie Elliott says, well, it's not 3 a.m., so I better try and go to sleep. Thank you for letting me hang out with you guys. Take care. Stay safe.
Good night, Katie. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Good night.
And Adar says, thanks for the tips.
Do you make stuff? Do you make monsters or things?
Celeste Kitty says, thanks.
A little weird tonight because I'm making molds, and I feel like that's pretty specialized. And that's not my favorite thing to do. I think you guys like to watch me paint, but for those of you who do make masks, I think that it is helpful to see someone else's process.
Boyd Thomas says, come here to upstate New York, I'll give you all the snow you want. Michelle Schulte's tapping out, early morning again, thanks guys for all you do. Night creepers.
Good night, Michelle.
Brendan Ferretti says, evening Alan, Stacey, and everyone else.
Hooray! Hello.
Custom Corpse says, oh, and on the subject of snow, what is the cheapest way to create snow on the ground and on things? I was thinking spray foam?
Nope, I just told you. But to go back and watch the video, I'm not going to say it again.
John C. says, where do you get the giant chicken for the sandwich?
Well, when a boy giant chicken with a girl giant chicken, very much.
Cat Swift says, for batting, a couple times a year, Joanne Cranbridge does a lost item sale on a full roll of batting for $20. Watch and buy at 9 a.m. Hopefully we'll buy it out by 10 a.m.
Well, you know what? And that is still overpriced for what you would pay at an upholstery supply place. I pay $76 for a roll that is ½ an inch thick batting, and it's like 6 foot by 150 foot. And because it's an upholstery supply shop. They supply upholsterers.
Ben Goggle says, I just picked up the original Don Post 1977 Tor Johnson mask locally for a great price. It's like new in perfect condition. Can't believe it.
I like that.
Wow. It's not a reissue?
Marlene Case says, I'm in the Panhandle, as long as you can get the grass damp beforehand, using a good chiller with a good fog machine can work. It just depends on the weather.
You guys have the humidity that helps keep the fog down low. It's harder without humidity, the fog doesn't want to hang out.
Anthony Patano says, giant chicken gave me the bad coupon. Wah, wah. Tom Everard says, I would like to be the first to say happy Halloween for next year.
Hooray! Thank you, my calendar challenge friend.
Milton Knowles, the Insane Witch King, says, a giant chicken, cheese, and bacon sandwich with the good barbecue sauce and Edam cheese. Well, that's today's grocery list written. Thanks for the good content. I might be back on if I'm quick.
Okay. That's a weird dude. Like, I'm sitting here, I'm molding a goblin, and this is my job, and I'm saying that's a weird dude. I think I picked his dinner like 6 nights.
That's hilarious. Heston Corpses says, boop, I missed it. I just only stepped away for a second. Totally the box says, wasn't Ed Harris, it was Dreyfus in Jaws.
You can rewind. Just rewind. We know. He was messing with me. He was messing with me. We know. But we appreciate you correcting us.
Baba
Everyone loves
says,
that.
how do you secure the batting? Do you guys not have wind?
Pins. You use landscaping pins that you use for landscape fabric in gardens.
But also, we're inside.
We're inside, but you just use the long.
But you can still use pins, yeah.
Yeah. Antonio Jimenez says hi. Jimenez.
Stan.
Yes, sir.
That's the last batch.
Castro says this particular special die is 48 inches by 10 yards. It shows the stupid markup it usually is.
Oh yeah, and they're still making money. But find a like an industrial upholsterer supply place. We have American Foam Rubber here in Dallas, and if you're anywhere near any kind of a decent sized city, they're going to have an upholstery supply company.
Custom Corpses is rolling it back now.
So somebody asked earlier about how much of a bag we use. We probably went through a whole solid bag almost.
Yeah, so these two masks, these two molds are going to be 50 pounds. They're 50 pounds of plaster we used on these.
Totally Unboxed says Jaws was my first monster movie way back when. And Gregory Haynes says, I keep hearing poultry supply, but you were saying upholstery supply.
Upholstery supply.
Get them chickens.
I wouldn't even, okay, I do know where to buy chickens. Sorry.
Finn Godwolf says, no reissue on the Tor Johnson mask, has the date and copyright on the mask.
Nice.
Rob Memento says, I just came across this stream and I'm just sitting here already interested in what you do. I want to get into this type of stuff, but I don't know how to start.
Well, I have a lot of videos on that. And it's what do you want to do exactly? Do you want to make latex masks? Then you get yourself some clay and plaster and a sculpting bust and get started. Nothing is stopping you from doing it, except maybe fear, maybe, I don't know. But start doing it. You don't have a reason. Your excuse, I stole it. I'll teach you how. Email me.
Jeremiah Dempsey says, thank you for tracking plaster.
All right, well, no sweat.
All right. Is that faster than that?
It is, but only just. It also doesn't require me to crane my neck up. Skin and Bones asks, will you be opening this mold tonight?
Yes, end of the night. Well, honestly, I'll probably start about 9:30 on this one, which is about 15 minutes away, which gives me time to finish this one.
Jaw fight.
I was hoping I'd be able to mold the other goblin tonight, but I'm not going to.
Guys, gumbo's up. It's not as spicy as I like it, it's actually good. So, I brought some hot sauces for you guys to put with it.
Sure, it's all amazing.
Well, it smells good, yeah. And it does, it's really good, it actually tastes good. And, cornbread, and I'm taking it for that. Here we go. Thanks, I'll be right back.
Thank you.
Skin and Bones says, awesome, can't wait to see him.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Logan Black says, my wife loves Halloween and anything to do with it. I did a couple of your decor stuff and it's super cool. She loved them. Thanks for the DIY project.
That's great. I'm so glad.
Cat Swift asks, is it cocktail hour?
It's gumbo hour.
Ross Richard says, looks like Shannon brought in some nummy nummies.
Yes.
Nums.
Where did the time go tonight? It's already 9:15.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't start it until late. Like, usually on Wednesdays I'm here all day, and I didn't get here till 5.
No, I mean like even the live is going faster.
It does seem like it's fun quick.
So here's what happens, all right? I'm working and I'm on camera, and everybody goes to eat whenever she brings food. So here's what I'm going to give you guys. I'm giving you a tour. Here's
Of the food.
this is a gallon container of contact cement. We're not going to eat that, but next to it, oh, this is delicious gumbo. All right, so I'm gonna.
Bra Memento asks, I know clay is one good way to start with making masks, but what would you do after?
Okay, you do the process that I'm doing right now. You'd make a mold. So you would make a mold. And so you do a clay sculpture, and then you make a plaster mold over it. I have lots of videos on that. And then, well, you know what, they have this is the Halloween hot sauce company. I don't know where the label went, but I know that's their spider sauce.
Celeste Kitty Shannon stepped back out, but when she gets back, call her again. Skin and Bones says you need a refill, Alan.
I do need
Riot Demon asked, does Shannon feed the crew every night they're working?
Not every night, but it's not uncommon at all. It all depends.
Boyd Smart says, I finally found a local ceramic store that sells clay. Is there a certain kind to ask for? We're sculpting, they have lots of different kinds. Ratukin, Rakuten? Rakuten?
So you just
Some has sand.
you're going to get any kind you want a non-firing clay without grog. So you can use, if they have wet clay, great. They normally don't. You can get white modeling clay. I use a clay called Dillo Red on occasion. There's all kinds of clays out there that will work for this
Barbie
purpose.
says, don't eat the wellwood.
And clay is cheap, so buy one, try it. If you don't like that clay, get a different kind.
Finn Godwin says, oysters in the gumbo?
No, this is chicken, sausage. What's in the gumbo, honey?
Chicken sausage and shrimp.
Shrimp.
Paul Bennett says, and the Liquitex. Don't eat the Liquitex.
Did you put any spicy hot sauce in it?
I put the tarantula sauce in it, so I like that. Spider
I like
sauce.
the tarantula sauce actually really good.
Anthony Patano says, you're my favorite YouTuber.
That's so kind.
Yeah.
Now my favorite mold maker.
Custom Corpses says, I got it. What a great idea, Alan, for snow.
Cool.
Paul Bennett says, just ate Reuben soup. And what are you eating? We have to tell him during YouTube camp.
Just did it.
Gumbo. I'm eating gumbo.
Scott Colehart says, sounds so good. Missy Jezereski says, Shannon, you are awesome. And you just posted Shannon a question from Celeste Kitty. She says, Shannon, I have some of those tags I plan on using randomly, like when the fog is thick, if that's okay. Random jack-o'-lanterns.
Of course. Of course. Enjoy.
Marlena Kate says, is it made with real spiders?
I don't know what's in it, but it's delicious. From the Halloween hot sauce company.
Steve Zalman says, I miss me some Shannon cooking.
Oh, that's the tarantula sauce for you? Yeah, that's good. I liked it spicier, so I would let you guys decide how spicy.
Bra Memento says, I'm getting hungry just by looking at that food.
Sorry.
Logan Black says, I've always wanted to make gumbo. Think your wife can send me the recipe?
For sure I can get it.
She'll post it on the Still Piece Live Creepers page.
There you go. Wow. It's so dark. Okay.
Jack Floodway says, I got super busy at work now. No time to pour the mask. If the lid is tight on latex, is it okay? And for how long?
Chad, Flyboy.
Don't let it freeze. Don't let it get too cold. You should be fine.
Monster Camp 6.
Boyd Smart says, awesome, thank you. I also have a commercial on store trying to locate some casting latex for me.
Great. Stan,
Yeah.
you got to start pours now too.
Yeah.
Remember you poured out first because they've been. We started pours at 6:30.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah. Great.
Paul Bennett says, interesting. Never had gumbo soup. Tank asks, what's in the gumbo?
Chicken, sausage, shrimp.
Whole bunch of yum.
Ken Zarish says, Gumby and Pokey. Marlena Kate said, I had tomato soup with a grilled bacon and cheese sandwich. I'm dealing with a cold.
Good thing to have.
Line Cook Thor says, gumbo is good. Thank you, Scott Colehart, for the Halloween hot sauce link. Mike Mike Camacho says,
That's a friend of mine named Victor Ives, and he has all these different kinds of themed hot sauces, and they're so wonderful. And just the packaging is nice, the bottles are nice. I buy a bunch every year and give them as Christmas presents.
Mike Camacho says, andouille sausage. My wife makes good cream of wheat. It might be.
Cream of wheat?
Yeah, I think she said this was gift gumbo, so we don't know what kind of sausage it is.
Yeah.
Logan Black says, sweet, I'm from Central Michigan, so nobody knows how to make gumbo.
TJ Styles, Custom Corpses.
Mm-hmm.
Michael.
Yep.
Yes. Ross Richard says, be cool if Ed Edmonds came to the shop and y'all sculpted it together.
I would love that. Ed pops onto a live chat every now and then, but I haven't gotten him out to my shop.
Line Cook Thor says, I make a great cream of mushroom soup myself. Graffy UK says, hi guys, what's gumbo?
Gumbo is a Louisiana dish. Just like you have regional dishes, it's a regional dish from Louisiana, so Middle South, and it's delicious.
Warmonger asks, when's the next gumbo lab?
It is a seafood type of stew, kind of like, a little bit like a cioppino, but it's different. It's regional, it's meant to be spicy.
Chad Flyboy says, missing that good food. Skin and Bones asks, did you just mix 2 different sodas?
No, it was 2 cans of cakes to fill up my cup.
Bro Memento says, now me thinking about food reminds me of my dad's barbecue business. Celeste Katie says, we're growing an ungodly amount of hot peppers to make hot sauce out of. Definitely need to make some just for you guys.
Sweet.
Custom Corpses asks, is that cornbread?
That was cornbread. Yes. I think all of my soups and stews should be really thick. So I always add bread or crackers or something to my soups and stews. My wife likes a brothy thin soup, and I like a hearty stew. So I always add a lot of bread.
Logan Black says, Michigan has Mackinac Island fudge.
Yes.
Is that like legitimately fudge or is that
Yeah.
also soup?
It's fudge.
Chad Flyboy says, just got to tune in. What are we doing tonight?
We are molding a couple of masks. We're molding from a latex buck. So we're not molding from a sculpt like normal. I had to make copies of these guys. We have one copy of the mold, and this is another copy of the mold.
Rob O'Brien says, I love that fudge.
Yeah, at some point in time, this whole world clears up a little bit, and things get different. I want to kind of plan a UK trip, and meet a bunch of the UK folks who watch, and maybe get some of the haunted attractions over there, and kind of do some consulting or making or something. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Ron Memento says, well, all right, I wish you could stay here longer, but it's getting late, so I'm going to head out. But I'll be looking more at your vids and streams.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for stopping by.
Tutworks says, here in Maine, lobster mac and cheese. Oh.
Yes. And also, Anax on the moon.
Ken Zarish says, good night, fam. Really tired. Only had 3 hours of sleep.
Good night, man. Take care. You had just a little less than me. This was a rough YouTube Wednesday, man. A really long edit. I think the video was like 23, 24 minutes. That's a long one for me.
Logan Black says, definitely recommend Scotland. It's amazing.
Well, I kind of, if I'm going, I'm going to spend 3 weeks there. It's a matter of, like, my best time to go would probably be February.
Oh, yeah.
Except Transworld. I got to get ready for Transworld.
Yeah.
So I don't have a slow time of year is the problem.
And I guess if we didn't have Transworld again this year, it would definitely make going to Europe out of the question. So.
Yes. Yes, it did.
Include road trip. Cannabis
Change.
Creative says, I guess quite a few people didn't get much sleep last night.
Yeah, that's how it goes. But we're not going to talk about why. We don't talk about that on the channel.
Yep. Riot Demon asked, when is the longer version of the Dementors video coming out?
Well, it's a matter of time. I'm prioritizing the other videos. You know what I might do? I might give all that footage to my buddy Robert Alcala and let him edit up. Yeah, and let him edit it, because that's something we've been wanting to do. And so you might get a very different version, but it'll be, you know, his edit. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll talk to Robert about it. That's a great idea that you had.
Paul Bennett says, looks like you're making a volcano for middle school.
Yes. Take your vinegar and your baking soda. A gallon of each, please. Go big or go home, children.
Marlene Gates and Alan, you've been on for over an hour.
Yeah, I mean, we're normally on for 3 hours or so. Cheney, yeah, that. Who wants to eat this?
Of course he does. Because reasons.
Delicious plaster. Of course I wouldn't eat that. You said it was plaster chips. Okay, so in order to get your mold, right now there's probably a lock that this plaster is kind of stuck down to this board. This plaster has heated up and it's cooled down. I know it's cured enough where I can start pulling these out.
Steve's on a gallon of each. Oh Lord, the mess.
Exactly, he caught on what I'm saying. And he also knows how much I don't like children, so.
Custom
Yeah.
says, I need to get thinner. Is this part of that diet plan you're on, Ellen? If so, sign me up.
Oh, the gumbo? Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe not. I'm doing okay now because I sound ridiculous. I'm working so many hours. I'm not eating as much as I used to, so I'm okay.
Skin Bone says, it's go time. Oh, you know what the best part of these is? You don't have a picnic plan.
No, I don't. If I can get the latex out,
Yeah.
then I don't have to worry.
Stephen Lecoq says, what kind of mask are you making? You're doing tonight?
Oh, this is going to be harder because I glued it to the board
Why did you do that?
because I had to seal the bottom. We just happened to use a great adhesive also.
Change.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, silicone.
Super.
I need that.
Okay.
He's not answering.
Custom Corpses, I would like to send you this awesome mask. I need you to send me your address to our Gmail account, stillbestudios@gmail.com. I am shipping tonight. I would love to send this to you. Please send me your info.
It will not escape me.
Did
All right.
did you answer him for what kind of masks we're doing tonight?
We have a Krampus mask / orc mask, and we have another elf / goblin mask.
Leonard Cook asked, which of y'all make the best chili?
Shannon makes the best.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hands
whatever
down.
it is.
Logan Black says, there's so many castles and crazy little places to stop and see, but it's only a little jump over the pond. Or Venus is 155 creepers creeping. Skin and
Yeah.
Bones says, time to remove that bowl.
And they could possibly watch a beautiful disaster.
Yes.
Let's see how this goes.
Lisa Arn says, silicone. Marlene Case, just to be clear, I wasn't complaining about you being on for over an hour.
Oh, no. I mean, I'm these nights are normally 3 hours, 7 to 10.
Yeah. Paul Bennett says, putty knife to move the mold. These aren't seconds with big knife. We do have that.
Well, I have a specialized tool that is going to be able to exert a little bit of pressure here. I'm gonna
Custom
grab it.
Corpses says, what kind of plaster are you using tonight, Alan?
UltraCal 30. That is my preferred plaster.
Contacts by Designs, it's Crud, I'm late.
It's all good, homie. It's
Skin and
all
Bones
good.
Says, gosh, that's awesome. Paul Bennett says, cool. Scott Colhart, sharing the email. Rue Newman says, Shannon makes the best food, period.
Okay.
Steve Zalman says, agreed, Shannon makes the best food, usually in mass quantities. Success!
Yeah, silicone is free.
Hard fun.
Yeah. This is the hard part. I know that Big Dog is no longer with us. He didn't die. He just he got off the screen. Yeah, he complained vehemently about getting this out of the mold. And I think he kind of tore up his mold because he's far away, so he made it, and then he did this to ship to me. It's a lot easier than shipping the mold. The mold might die, all that stuff.
Custom Corp says, yeah, I still need to watch your YouTube Wednesday.
I think it was a good one. I feel like it was a good video.
Marlena Kate says, LOL, a specialized tool equals hammer.
Yeah.
Guess which is a specialized tool, so we saw that covered. Blackcraft 27 says, that's an awesome Michael Myers mask.
Custom Corpses sculpted it. I painted it.
Lloyd Taunt says, yay, just found a place 20 minutes away that has plaster. They have pottery plaster, USG1, plaster, ceramic, ceramical, harder than using USG1 pottery plaster, and hydrostone, then hydrostone plaster. Which one?
I'd probably go with Hydrostone Plaster.
Hawkins by Design says, love the Dollar Tree robot head.
Glad you enjoyed it.
Custom Corpses says, I'll send it now. Okay, has an email. Perfect. That's what we want.
Okay, so I have an ear. And then getting one ear out is about a third of the battle. The other third is cussing. And then it's brute force. So now I'm pulling the ear back this way to get that part of the ear out. Bottom of that ear is out. Top ear of this ear is not out. Now it's out. And I will have a slightly easier time than he did because I have pumpkin teeth, which will just pull out of the phone.
That's true. Marlena Kate says, Alan, lend me your ear. Paul Bennett says, yes, I'm interested. Oh, about loose gargoyles. Cannabis Creative says, what's the durometer?
The durometer?
Durometer, sorry.
It's all right. I would guess that the durometer of latex is about 35. Like 70 is a car tire. It's that hard. This he used, I think, 5-pound foam, which is why it was a little stiff. But we're clean. We're clear. And this
Hey.
is beautiful.
Skin and Bones asked, have you ever broken a mold doing that?
I have not, but I have seen it done.
Sweet Logo says, I'm back. I'm making an evil snowman. I have the mask. Any ideas on what to use for the body?
What I use beach balls, and then I use a clear packing tape form. Use a clear packing tape form over top of the beach ball. Tape all your beach balls together. Tape it as one form, and do 3 or 4 layers of tape each direction, and then cover that in white fur. Heat gun the white fur down until it looks like snow.
Riot Demon says, will you keep that mask filled with the foam to make another mold?
Of course. That's my buck. That's how I make more of this mold when I need it.
Marlena Kate says, nice. Cannabis Creative says, I thought you were using silicone.
No, I don't use a lot of silicone.
Yes.
Some people make silicone masters. I don't because I do so much with latex. Silicone doesn't do well.
Yes, Rue, poster, gargoyles on the previous page. Vin Goggles says, wow, great job, Alan. That came out smoothly.
That is the hope. And now I got one little piece of stuff to pick out of there. So a bamboo skewer is perfect for getting clay out of a mold. You just have to break it. And then you have all those little stabby bits. Jones!
Celeste Kitty asks, whose job is it to bathe the fur babies?
They actually don't mind it, and the dogs like get in the pool all the time. The cats aren't fans, but you know what cat is.
Sweet Logo asks, do they make different size beach balls?
Yes, they do. Go on Amazon. You can find a 3-foot beach ball for your bottom, then find a 2-foot beach ball, then you're wearing a mask. That's 5 feet, and your head is about 6 feet. You'll be fine.
Marlena Kate says, are there teeth stuck in there?
There were pumpkin teeth in there, but I pulled them out because I did resculpt the teeth.
Custom Corpses says, okay, just send it to your Gmail. Thank you.
This is his mask without any teeth.
Ooh.
Exactly. That's the face. But yeah, it's a pretty painless process in all honesty.
Diane Verbal asks, how many times can you reuse the molds?
You will get 10 good. Well, I'll go with. The whole life till I found you. So out of this plaster mold, I will get 10 beautiful pulls. I will get 10 pretty good pulls, and then I will get 10. I'll get 20 meh pulls. So it all depends on how much detail. This really is actually a kind of a smooth sculpt. So it's. I think this is going to have a good longevity.
CJ's Clip says, hi, how are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Launchings by Design says, my cat just heard yours and was trying to figure out where it was coming from.
Texas is where it's coming from.
Sweet Logo says, sweet, locked, thanks. Custom Corpses, we will let you know when we get it. Orby says, okay, I walk away from potty break and I hear you telling someone to wear a beach ball on their heads.
Well, okay, so they have a mask for a snowman costume, and I was giving them the advice of, I used to make my snowman costumes out of beach balls. A 2-foot beach ball stacked on top of a 3-foot beach ball. You buy them from Amazon.
Yeah.
And then those are your form. This has heated up, and it hasn't cooled down, because this I've made sooner. However, I have demolded this before, and I made this, when I did this sculpt, I had bucking in mind.
Is he supposed to have that?
He can have that.
Okay.
When I did that sculpt, I had bucking in mind, so and then this one comes out, you'll be disappointed it's so easy.
Custom Corpses asks, where do you get pumpkin teeth?
Where I get what, pumpkin teeth? You get them from Etsy. Contact, it's an Etsy store. Pumpkin teeth, all one word. You can find them on Etsy.
Marlene Kate asked, do you put anything on the surface to seal the mold?
The sculpt or the buck? Yes, I use pledge in order to not seal it as a release. It doesn't need sealing, it's latex.
Blackcraft27 says, what made you move to Texas?
I met a girl who was my wife. I worked for, at that point in time, Skull Kingdom, which was a year-round haunted house in Orlando, Texas. In Orlando, Florida. There's no Orlando. There might be
There might
Orlando.
be an Orlando,
There's
Texas.
probably an Orlando, Texas.
Yeah.
So I would take my vacation time as a year-round haunt actor to work at haunted houses that were not, near me. And then, oh boy, this one's harder. So, like I went to Massachusetts one year to work with Spooky World. I worked at a place in Colorado, worked at a place in California, and like 2 weeks of haunt season. And then I'd come back and I'd work for Skull Kingdom. Well, I came to Texas, and oh my goodness! Coaster BP! Hey, Brian, good to see you on, sir. That is a friend of mine who worked with me at Skull Kingdom back when I was but a child. And but I went to Texas in order to work at a haunt there, and while there, my wife came through. She didn't know that she was my wife at the time, but I did. So I stalked her thoroughly until it worked, and now we married, yo.
Marlene Picture, she was talking about the clay side. Let's see that. Tank says, use your special tool, it won't matter if the mold is fully cooled.
That's right.
Thank you, Scott Kohler, for pumpkin teeth link. CJ's Clip says, I just looked at your channel and I won't lie, I like your channel.
Hey, thanks, man.
The King says, finally, I'm able to find you live, Mr. Beast.
Hey, what's up, man?
Steve Zalman says, so this one time, it's Skull Kingdom.
Yes. Lots of stories start that way. You know what? That was such a wonderful place to grow up, because there was a whole group of very talented people who worked there, and we were all so different, and we all loved what we did, and that was just it was a wonderful place to grow up.
Poster BP says, hey, Alan, when we were both little hunters.
Yes, we were.
Marlena Kate says, shout out to the specialized tool, cough cough. Baba Daza says, that is so cute. Skin and Bone says, aw, a horror love story.
Y'all ain't even heard cute yet. At some point, you'll hear Shannon tell it, and it's real cute.
Scary.
I ain't telling you.
Okay, this guy's out.
Oh. Mom's gotta talk.
Good. Come on, Jones.
Okay.
Come on.
And you guys are like, hey, I've seen that sculpt before. You're right. We're making another one of that mold. All right, I have a couple air bubbles in this, but they're not bad. I've got an air bubble up here. I have an air bubble right there. I'm going to mix up a tiny bit of plaster and just fill in those couple spots.
Mama Dawes says, oh. John C says, the robot bearhead wants to know why you're using his friend's skull as a plaster mold.
Yeah, that happens. He's looking at me.
Doing him a concern.
That's why his eyes are so wide right now. Actually, I changed him up as soon as I was done with him. I pulled the shutters off his eyes because there's stuff that I want to do to mine that I didn't think was the best consumption for everybody.
Baba Dawes says, I'm dying to hear Shannon tell it. Steve Zalman says she tells the story very cutely. Thank you, Scott Colhart, for sharing our shop link.
I needed, plaster.
Next Katie says, sure, Alan's story sounds sweet, but when I tell the story about she didn't know she would be getting hosed in my basement pit, I sound creepy.
Right.
The King says, looks like Penguin from Batman.
Okay. I guess it has a nose on it.
CJ's Clip says, thank you for shouting me out. Said hi.
Oh, that's like, we interact here. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We talk to people. We're humans. We have conversations. I want to know what you guys are thinking, and I want to answer your questions.
Ben Godwell says, dang, that pledge works really well for a release on the latex.
Yes, it does. Pledge is a great release from clay to plaster also.
Are you going to make the tiny plaster?
I'm making the tiny
plaster! Skin and Bone says, and no politics.
Right. We don't do that. Ain't nobody got time for that. It's all you're going to get somewhere else, but right now, no. Okay. While I get this plaster, look at my bum.
Quality, but mix it over there close to it. Tiny plaster in the cup.
These are like solo cups. They're solo cup shot glasses. And they actually make me very happy.
And 1980 says, when the glove is strategically flipping you off.
Yeah, it happens.
Doyle.
What's up, buddy?
And Paul Bennett says, laugh out loud at Frankenstein wearing the face covering.
Yeah.
Marlene Kate says, I've seen others use Vaseline on a life cast before sculpting with latex or latex paste. Would you say Pledge is better?
Well, not on a face, okay? And I wasn't releasing plaster from anything. I was releasing the latex from future plaster. I did show Doyle. They saw Doyle. Yes. I cannot speak for others' techniques. And maybe it works for them. I will show you how I do things, and then you make up your own mind.
That baby.
There are a lot of folks who say, you know, oh, the way of doing it that way is wrong. Well, not if it works. I don't say anything is wrong. What I say is that's not how I do it.
Baba says, so you can keep the plaster in that container. It doesn't absorb moisture from the air.
I put a lid on it. The lid's off of it right now simply because, and we're in Texas, we don't have as much moisture as like Florida does. What was I saying? We don't know.
Yeah, it's a mystery. Skin and Bone says, meow.
Yeah, that was Doyle. He's very loud.
Next Navy says, reanimated creatures are immune compromised.
Yes.
Right, James says, oh, hi, Doyle. Sarah R. says, hi, Doyle. Marlene Kate says, fair point, Alan. Laura Brady says, good night, I'm tired.
Good night.
Lisa Arndt says, Shannon kidnapped Doyle.
She probably took him to get Tritos.
The King says, Alan, have you ever tried to do a mold of your face to make a mask that looks identical to you?
No. And I have a mold of my face. but I still don't want to make a mask that looks identical to me. And I've been asked that like several times, to the point of where it's kind of weird now.
Baba
Yeah.
Dawes says, but a lid on it does the trick. Okay.
Yes. If you like it, then you should have put a lid on it.
Tank says, you were talking about why you don't tell someone they do it wrong.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of ways to do it. And you know what? Maybe they do it that way because of the climate where they're at, or, you know, maybe the person they buy their plaster from is shifty and, you know, he thins down the other stuff. You don't know. So, don't tell people that they're doing something wrong. If it works for them, you can tell them how you do it. Here's how I do it. I'm a firm believer that you can either tell someone to do something or you can tell them how to do it. It's very rare that I do both. I hold that true with my build crew. Now, if they want help, of course, I'm going to help them out. But if they don't, if they got a handle on it, then let them do it their way. And if their way doesn't work, then I'm here. You know, I'm here. If they don't have a clue from the get-go and they want advice, I'll give it to them. But there's a lot of ways to get this done. And we don't use anything for what it was intended for. And if we listen as much as we talk, then we'll learn some things.
Unknown Origins FX says, I think people want you watching them in their homes. And the king says, over the headboard.
So for a while there, I sold teddy bears. Our company sold teddy bears, and they had foam heads on them. And there was, you know, one of them had my head because we had a silicone copy of my head, and we made it was like a severed head on top of a teddy bear with the ears cut off and then sewn on top to look like a teddy bear.
Nice.
That was like the most popular prop that I ever designed. But so anyway, yeah. So Laura Kilpatrick
Yep.
bought
Her
one
head's everywhere.
because who I wasn't like we knew each other, but we weren't like super great friends.
Yeah.
Well, then once I became, and it lived in her bedroom. So once I became her boss, you know, and then I met her husband, and he's like, wait, is his head's in our bedroom? So then the teddy bear moved because that was weird. Yeah.
Marlena Kate says, I wonder if it's a weird feeling for William Shatner to see people walking around with a whitewashed copy of his face every year.
I just, you know what? I bet he wishes he had $1 for every one of those masks sold.
Seriously.
Yeah, for real.
Ben Godwin says, this will be the first time that I've seen you fill bubble voids on a mold. Cool. I'm learning all the time from you.
Normally, I don't actually get them. Like, I'm just a careful molder. I've done it a lot. But I was very fast and loose with putting this plaster on, and I have paid the price for my carelessness.
Stephen Lecoq says, I've used everything from baby oil to Pam on a mold.
Yeah. I used motor oil. That's what I had.
Celeste Kitty says, I'm in Shannon's dream right now, covered in kitties.
Hooray. Way better than ticks.
Unknown Origin says, yeah, I'd like to know his thoughts on that from Shatner, I guess. 1980 says, Shatner tells a great story of wearing the Myers mask as a Halloween gag.
I bet.
Baba Dawes says, I think it's a great philosophy about how to teach and share art in general.
You know, one of the reasons why I teach is because I want to learn things. I do things a certain way, you know, and I'm going to teach someone, and then they're going to come back to me and say, hey, you know what? I do this, or I use this material that I get from my work, and it works great. So I learned something from them because their background gives them a unique perspective that I didn't have. And I always learn stuff from people that I taught like years later.
Jack269 says, I'm back.
Hello, we missed you.
Baba Dawes says, okay, now I want to see this teddy bear card.
Oh, you know what? I'd have to get Laura to see if... Can you message Laura and see if she can take any pictures of it? I don't think I have any pictures of it. Before I was married, I was not very good at taking pictures of my work. Before I had a YouTube channel, I wasn't very good at taking pictures of my work.
Castro says, that visual along with the rollerblading werewolf are now in my head. Help. CJ's Clip says, goodbye. I'm tired. Have a great rest of your evening.
Well, bye.
All right.
Hank says, I bet William Shatner wishes he had $1 for every mask sold to make a new Halloween film.
That's what I was saying.
Hudson Corpus says, Etsy is a wonderful place.
It is, yes.
Jan Gaba says, peace. Cat Swift says that's absolutely brilliant and correct comment. I also find I learned so much from my students. Marlene Kate says that's what I love about artists and fabricators. We're always happy to be there and share. Paul Bennett says that plaster is Hydrostone. I'm right, I just can't remember the name.
This is UltraCal. Someone asked me earlier what kind of plaster they should get, and they gave me some options. And I said Hydrostone plaster. This is UltraCal 30.
Baba Dowza says, yeah, wow, so crazy. My dad says the same thing about people he taught years ago that he'll take a class from years later.
Yeah.
Jack269 says, can you make me a custom mask? And if you can, how much money will it cost?
It depends on what you want. You know, if you want your mask to be a quarter scale replica of the Eiffel Tower with, you know, covered in alligator teeth, then that's going to be more expensive. So it depends on what you want. I'll have to know the concept first. I can't just say, a custom mask is $300, you know. But normally a new sculpt is $450, and but it depends, because you might have in your mind it's a custom mask, but I might have one of my 100 or so molds that I can turn into what you want pretty quick and easy without the incurred expense.
1980 says, I posted the Shatner interview on the Creepers. Thank you, 1980.
Cool. Thank you, man.
The King says, so what color will the new guy be? Can't wait to see how it turns out.
We went over the options, but Stan has decided to stay Caucasian.
I'm trading in my Caucasian.
Like, which?
Had it too long.
Probably just. Oh, probably not this one. Probably the other one. It'll probably be just a nice pale Krampus color. A lot of the classic masks are very almost albino skinish tonish.
Celeste Case says, I'm thinking if I use blue lights instead of green, it might look like snowflakes instead of fireflies for my Christmas graveyard. Thoughts? The floating fireflies I did when we used this once.
I think if you use blue lights, they'll be will-o'-the-wisps and not fireflies.
Marlena Kate says, you should do a Christmas look. Dress them up like Santa.
Oh. I'm trying to show you guys how quickly and easily this stuff fills in and smooths out. But I don't know if I'm doing a good job. It's like life that way.
Custom Corpses asks, where can I get really cheap toy dolls to scare out?
Okay, so this is a terrible answer, and it's a terrible question. It is a question that has plagued haunters till the end of time. You have to go to thrift stores. And you have to pay off thrift stores and get them to see that little hole right there. I got to try and find it and then fill it in.
Baudaza says, if you do pictures of teddy bear, please show on YouTube. I'm going to message her right now.
Well, we're going to show it on the Still Piece Live Creepers.
Jack269 says, the mask I was wondering if you could make is a Slipknot gesture mask.
Oh, there's a lot of people who make that mask already. I would just send you to one of them. That's not a custom mask. Lots of folks make that Slipknot Jester mask, and I don't need to add that to the pile. I don't need to add mine to the pile. I am a good and creative mask maker, but there's no fresh spin or take that I'm going to put on a Slipknot Jester mask that's going to mean that you should get mine instead of someone else's.
John Wolf asks, will this repair / build that you're doing right now last, or will it flake out with the cold?
This will last because this plaster is still warm enough that it's going to just bond into there. And I'm not going to pour this up till tomorrow. It'll have plenty of time to cure and be a thing. Here we go. That's pretty darn good. And now I don't have any of those little voids or whatever in it.
Oh, your mic is muted with your thumb.
Oh, am I muted?
The King says, so true, I agree, classic characters are pale colors. Tank says, I don't really see colors. Nobody knows I'm colorblind.
I gotcha.
Hoyt-Con asks, what's a fair or going price for Hydrostone Plaster or UltraCal?
I would have to look, but I would imagine you're going to be under $60 for 100 pounds. Under $60 for 100 pounds, and you're okay price-wise.
Marlena Kate says you can find used toys on Facebook Marketplace all the time, just FYI. Babadas says more about paying off thrift stores to save their dolls. Like, does that work?
Yeah. Well, if you go to thrift stores, ask to talk to the manager and say, hey, you know, I have a haunted house. I'm looking for dolls. You know, if you get 4 or 5 dolls in, you know, give me a heads up and I'll buy it. So, yeah.
The king says, I don't think that Alan's being mean. He's just honest. And to be quite frank with you, he's right.
Who am I being mean to?
The guy who asked for a slip-knot mask.
Oh, no, I wasn't being mean at all. I mean, I know like 20 guys who do that. I run a group on Facebook called Latex Mask Central. I'm an admin there. And I see that mask a lot. So if you want that and you don't know where to get it, message me. Send me a message, either on YouTube or whatever, and I'll put feelers out for you. We'll get someone to make you that mask who already has a mold for it. There's no need to me to make another one. I'm not going to make a Michael Myers mask. There's so many out there. I don't need to add to that pile. And if I make a good one, it's just going to look like Michael Myers. You know, so I'm not going to be revolutionary. So the best that I can hope for is being stuck in the middle of that pile. No thanks.
Maybe Donald says, thanks for showing that close up.
Yeah.
Celeste says, check your local flea market. Babadas says, yeah, great idea. Marlena Case says, places like Goodwill will not take stuffed animals because they have too much of a risk of carrying germs. You can always offer to pay the whole for free also.
I used to buy stuffed animals from there all the time. Like when I was making a lot of teddy bear masks, we would take them. We would buy the bears, and you go to the dry cleaners and you dry clean the bear, and then you come back and you make a mask out of it. And that was as early as last year. So I guess maybe with COVID they started doing it. Yes.
Jack269 says, FYI, you're not being mean.
Yeah, no.
Kryptoniter says, not much value in his face. The King says, I agree with you, Alan, 100% that's true. It's just not worth your time. Head Static says, would it be possible to turn your goblin into a demonic Christmas jester type elf?
We do that.
Yes.
When I say goblin, that is a goblin, it's a leprechaun, and it's an elf. Yes. The answer is yes.
Kryptoniter says, what about Bo Selectica masks?
I don't know who Bo... Alexa, who is Bo Selecta?
Bo Selecta, the British sketch show written and performed by Lee Francis, known for its often deeply surreal, abstract toilet humor, which lampoons popular culture.
I'll have to look that up. I didn't even know it was a thing. But we're in the States, so I don't know a lot of... And I don't watch television. I'm in the shop. I work.
Catspo says, also many of the thrift stores throw out damaged toys, let them know you'll buy them at almost no cost, and they'll often hold them for you.
Yes, they will.
Castleport says, I'm going to try and make a Krampus with spray foam. Good idea or not, Alan?
I don't think it's a bad idea. Why not? Give it a shot. See how it goes. Worst case scenario, you're out $7. I guess the worst case scenario is maybe you decide to smoke a cigarette right after you put it out and you explode, because that stuff is super flammable. But that's not likely. Like the most likely is you screw up and it's only $7.
So these hyper exaggerated faces.
Okay.
Custom
Those are.
Purposes says I'm going to try and make cream. Oh, there, where you said that?
I probably wouldn't make those because the Bo Selecta, some of them, they look a little blackfacey, they look a little mocking, and I'd be careful about that. I wouldn't normally do that. Some of them. Oh, the first ones. These are much better, actually. Yeah, that's a very interesting mask style. It reminds me of the puppets from the Phil Collins video, Land of Illusion.
They look like they're all like
Spitting image.
Just eyes.
Yeah.
Dan McCorson says hello.
Hi Dan.
Kate says maybe that's just a thing with the Goodwills here in Florida. They have had that rule for years now. The yard sales, especially in the summer when military families move, are good too.
Yeah, well, see, yard sales are so hit or miss. I hate telling anybody to go to yard sales. I hate telling people to go to thrift stores. Go to thrift store for costuming stuff, because if you're creative, your costume is there. It just might not be the color you think it is. It might not be the cut you think it is.
Y'all go watch that pirate video.
And the costume you want might currently be a suitcase there at the Goodwill, but your costume is there. You have to find it, and that's kind of the part of it. So basically, this is like the first time ever where I'm like, I'm done on time. I got both my molds out. They're ready to go. Was that? Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I mean, I pretty much got accomplished a good chunk of what I wanted to get accomplished today. So, yeah, but you guys are awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out. Hey, wife, you want to come say goodnight? She's in the back packing up packages.
Good night. Shipping night.
Stacy, say goodnight.
Good night.
Stan.
Good night, everybody.
Stan worked very hard mixing plaster. Now he's enjoying his gumbo.
Right.
Yeah. Now he knows what it feels like to be last. Now you know. Now you know what the last eater feels like.
Still win.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's
like
still.
You still got to eat the
Still
gumbo.
got-
Actually, I never even got to finish mine.
That's
I'll
okay.
finish mine eventually.
First.
All right, guys. Thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I, like them, I say goodnight. Thanks for taking time out of your evening and hanging out with us, and I hope we were a pleasant distraction. You guys are awesome. Good night. Go make stuff.